Western Athletic Conference Baseball, it's here again on ESPN+. Game 2 of a 3-game set. It's a Saturday matinee here at Bullock Brothers Ballpark, Crutcher Scott Field, the ACU Wildcats and the Utah Tech Trailblazers. Welcome back into the ballpark here this afternoon. Andy Penny alongside Jaden West. Game 2 of the series. Last night, the celebration went the way of the Wildcats, a 3-2 victory courtesy of the long ball.
Yeah, Utah Tech actually out-hit the Wildcats 9-5. They had a couple singles but couldn't string anything together offensively. The difference maker was ACU was able to get to Utah Tech's starter, got to him early, got him out of the game in the 5th, and Dominic Reed for the Wildcats was able to go all the way to the 7th. That could be big as the series progresses.
A 3-2 win last night. The Wildcats look for the series win here today. Another great pitching matchup. Brett Landman for ACU. It's Ryan Martinez for Utah Tech.
Yeah, we're going to see another low-scoring game. Both guys are going to come out and try to bounce back from rough starts that they had last weekend against Utah Valley and Sacramento State. So look for another good pitching matchup today, and offense has to get going on this warm day. It's a little breezy, but it should be a good one.
Brett Landman, the sophomore left-hander, the preseason WAC Player of the Year, and with more of him on him, we send it down the first baseline with Roman Raffelli. Hey, Roman.
Thanks, Andy. In Brett Landman's last start against Sacramento State, he gave up 9 runs on 9 hits and was pulled after just 5 innings despite having 9 strikeouts. The wet and windy weather conditions were a key piece of that, with 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts to right field. He'll look to bounce back and give ACU a winning opportunity today against Utah Tech with full stands and clear skies. Guys?
Thanks, Roman. It's the Wildcats and the Trailblazers. First pitch on the other side. It's right here on ESPN+. And back to Bullock Brothers Ballpark, Crutcher Scott Field. It's a special day today for ACU baseball as the official grand opening of the renovated baseball stadium here. A great crowd. The weather is perfect, 90 degrees, full sun today. It's going to be a fun day of baseball here for the Wildcats and the Trailblazers. Again, the Trailblazers lost last night. ACU a 3-2 victory. Here's an updated look at the standings. ACU now at 3-7 in the 7th place spot. Utah Tech at 1-6.
I think you're going to start to see the Wildcats start to creep up those standings, but really you just got to set yourself up to be in a good spot when it comes time for that conference tournament in Mesa, Arizona. The winner of that tournament will go to a regional, and Coach McCarty wants his guys to be prepared to play a long week there in Arizona when the time comes, and he's getting his guys ready for that.
The Wildcats had 3-2 victory last night. Out hit by the Trailblazers, as you mentioned in the open, 9-5, but the long ball was really the difference. A Benjamin Greer 2-run home run in the 2nd. A solo home run by Zant Payne, who made his first start defensively since March the 9th. Hit the solo home run, ended up being the game-winning hit, the game-winning RBI there in the bottom of the 7th. The relievers came in, the bullpen came in, did their job, and ACU got the 3-2 win.
A really good job by Katie Grenay and Henry Cohn to come in on the back end of that game and kind of mop up what Dominic Reed set up for him. He allowed the first 2 runners on in the inning in that 7th, and Utah Tech actually tied it up, but luckily a go-ahead home run for the Wildcats put them up ahead once again. Utah Tech did a really good job on the mound defensively yesterday. No errors. Did a good job locking down things on that side, but they really need to get the bats going in these next 2 games to start to get something going on offense.
Here's a look at today's Saturday afternoon lineup for Utah Tech, and now at 15-18 on the year and 1-6 in conference play. A few changes to their lineup. Ethan Royal, who was in the 9 spot last night, his first and 2nd doubles of the year at an RBI double. He's moved up into the leadoff spot. You'll see him there. Kyle McDaniel, who bats 3rd, had 3 hits last night, a 3-for-4 night for the leading batting average, and Kyle McDaniel and a left of the look again. Royal, Ketchke, McDaniel, Stewart, Craypool, Johnson, Perez, Soto Jr., and Jones. As the Wildcats will take the field, and here's a look at the sophomore left-hander, the preseason WAC Pitcher of the Year from Lovejoy High School, Fairview, Texas. There's a look at Brett Landman.
Yeah, Landman coming off of 2 rough starts, threw really good against GCU a few weeks ago, went 9 complete innings, no earned runs allowed. But against Utah Valley, only 5 innings. In each of his last 2 starts, he's given up 6 runs and 9 runs respectively. So Brett looking to bounce back as he starts here in Game 2 for the Wildcats.
The win versus Grand Canyon, the only complete game for this Wildcat pitching staff all year long. Here's a look at the Wildcat defense. No real major changes with the exception of the infield. Zant Payne, who was at shortstop, Arias was at shortstop last night. Payne and Arias have flipped shortstop and second base. Jack Nielsen, the start today at first base, as Grant Watkins has moved into the designated hitter spot. The rest of the defensive nine looks the same in the outfield. And behind home plate, Maddox Meese will get the start, the battery mate. Here for Brett Landman. There's a look at Braden Regala in center field. The outfield this year for the Wildcats has yet to make an error. It's a .983 fielding percentage as a whole for ACU. They lead the WAC in that category. Did make an error last night, their 20th error of the year, but also turned their 29th double play of the year. So Landman and the 8 in the field with him, the defensive 9 for the Wildcats. Need to see Brett get off to a nice start here. Again, as you mentioned, you know, the numbers have not looked good. Rick McCarty did say that Brett didn't pitch too terribly bad last week, except for Sacramento State left the yard, hit home runs. He said take away 4 or 5 pitches, and yeah, those are impactful 4 or 5 pitches, but take those away, and Brett pitched pretty good over the course of 5 innings.
Yeah, he had 9 strikeouts, only allowed 1 walk. These are 2 pitchers today for both teams that do not allow a lot of free passes. With Brett today, the wind's blowing in pretty hard from right field, so he doesn't need to worry about letting the ball get up in the air. That was the problem last week. He gave up a couple of pop flies that were a little deep in the outfield, and the wind was just able to carry them over the wall for home runs. So Brett doesn't have to have that thought in the back of his mind. He can just go up there and throw strikes like he normally does and generate outs on the ground and in the air today.
You mentioned that wind blowing in from right field. It is a brisk 20 to 25 miles an hour. We'll see gusts of up to 30 blowing in from that right field line. As a matter of fact, we thought both of the home runs last night, Benjamin Greer and Zant Payne, probably don't leave the yard today with the way the wind is blowing. Last night, just an absolute beautiful night with no wind at all, but the wind will be a factor. It's a pitcher's ballpark, especially out to the right field pole here this afternoon. As we are ready for game number 2, the Wildcats looking for the series win. Utah Tech trying to even up and create a rubber match tomorrow. First pitch to Ethan Royal, the leadoff man, today's center fielder, is in for a strike. Again, Royal, a nice night last night, 2 for 3. Both of those were doubles. One an RBI double in the Trailblazer 2-run top of the 7th. We'll take another fastball and another strike. It's quickly 0-2. Trailblazers in the road grays today, the red piping down the pants, the red letters and numerals, and the stirrups. The entire team showing off the stirrups. ACU in the home whites with the script Abilene across the chest. 0-2 fouled back to the screen. We'll do it again. That's a classic look. We were talking about that in the pregame. That's a classic baseball look there. You got to like that.
Yeah, classic Boston Red Sox kind of style with the gray road uniforms with the red lettering. It's a good look, especially with the stirrups all across the board. Even head coach Feitenhauer came out to the plate meeting. You know, you see Rick McCarty wearing just the kind of the cage jacket, and Coach Feitenhauer's full jersey, tucked in, belt, everything.
The 0-2 comes inside. It clips Royal on the inside hip. It's a hit by pitch. And that is the second night in a row we've seen the leadoff man, top of the first, fall 0-2 in the count, and the ACU pitcher awards a hit by pitch. Last night that was Levi Randall in the leadoff spot. Tonight it's Ethan Royal, or this afternoon. So leadoff man on here in the first, and here's Hunter Katchke, the DH. Katchke, a 1-for-4 night last night, did have an RBI in that 2-run 7th. Struck out once as well, the senior from Las Vegas. Started his career at the College of Southern Nevada. The average sits at 255. He does lead the team with 6 home runs, has 23 RBIs as well. Landman out of the stretch for the first time this afternoon. Lifted high and deep, giving Chase Boussard in left field. Started back, now going all the way into foul territory. You can see that wind pushing. As Boussard was 30 or 40 feet inside the line, he ends up in foul territory. It's a long fly out for out number 1.
Yeah, we knew the wind would be a factor, but this ball is just really well played by Broussard. If you're teaching a little leaguer how to catch a pop fly, this is how you do it. First step's always back. He took a couple steps toward the warning track and then really just able to track it down as the wind blew it over. He didn't drift. He knew where he was running to and able to haul it in for out 1.
Royal retreats back to first. That brings up Kyle McDaniel. The hardest out of the Trailblazer lineup last night, 3 for 4. 2 of those were infield singles. Take a fastball for a strike, 90 on the radar gun. 361 now the average for McDaniel. It lifted 13 points after that 3 for 4 night last night. Team leader in so many categories for this Trailblazer offense. He started now all 34 games. Runner on the move. This is hit and run. Pitch is swung through and missed, but a stolen base for Royal. So Misi's throw was on the third base side of the bag. Runner in scoring position with 1 out.
Yeah, we saw Misi throw out the leadoff hitter yesterday in inning 1 after the hit by pitch. He got caught stealing for out 1. That was Levi Randall, though, not Ethan Royal. Misi tough having to throw into that wind with the ball, kind of forcing it to that shortstop side and not able to get him.
Landman ahead in the count, 0-2. 0-2, fastball just misses. Three-man umpiring crew today. It's Drew Eaton behind home plate. Eaton calls it a ball. Joe Landine down the first base line. Matthew Stelgis, who was behind home plate last night, will work the left side of the infield in that third base line. Landman looks for his first strikeout this afternoon. The 1-2. Hit the opposite way. A diving stop, Hardcastle. All he can do is knock it down. He'll eat it. Didn't field it cleanly on the backhand dive. Does keep it in the infield. That'll keep a run off the board, but first hit of the afternoon. McDaniel keeps his hot weekend alive. It's runners on the corners with 1 out.
Yeah, nice job by Hardcastle to knock it down. Just a great put his body on the line, keeping it in the infield. That definitely saves a run here early and puts the double play intact to try to get out of this inning with just 1 pitch from Landman. Really nice piece of hitting by McDaniel, though. We saw it yesterday, 3 hits, 2 of them in the infield, 1 a ground ball just through that 5-6 hole on the left side, and 1 of 3 lefties that Brett Landman will face today in this Trailblazer lineup, and McDaniel doing a good job of taking the hard fastball and going the other way.
First pitch, Finnegan Stewart upstairs, the freshman right fielder, Anaheim Hills, California. Stewart, the average at 257. 8 doubles on the year to lead the Trailblazers. His 32nd start in game 34. The 1-0 hit right back up the middle into center field, a base hit. Utah Tech off to a nice start. It's an RBI single, Finnegan Stewart, and a Trailblazer 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Stewart had a rough night last night, 0 for 4, but he's been really consistent on the season, reaching base and finding his way safely multiple times throughout the course of the year as a freshman. And nice job there, taking it right back up the middle for the RBI.
His 23rd RBI of the year. As Royal scores, McDaniel moves up to second. Still just 1 out in the inning. And Ryan Crapel now at the plate in this lefty-lefty matchup. Crapel, today's third baseman for the Trailblazers. First offering skips in. Misi will keep it in front. Well, Maddox did a great job last night. Don't think 1 ball got past him to the backstop. A few pitches in the dirt. As a matter of fact, he caught one, as you mentioned, cleanly on a skip and was able to throw out the runner who was moving instinctively, thought Misi had no chance to field it cleanly. He did, and then threw out the runner at second base. Here's another ball skied into left field. It's Broussard right on the line. 1 step into foul territory again. He will make the catch. Boy, that wind is certainly pushing the ball from right to left. But Broussard in good position, second out of the inning.
And one little thing to note is it's nice as a lefty arm out there in left field moving to his right, an easier catch to make than a right-hander would have if it was a backhand moving away from you with the wind. Something small, but something that could be a factor in the game as we continue to see fly balls hit out down that left field line that just drift towards foul territory throughout the rest of the day.
Those aren't your seats, sir.
2 outs for Ryan Johnson, today's starting catcher. Check that, Ty Johnson, today's starting catcher. The junior, the transfer from Salt Lake Community College. Johnson makes his 15th start of the year. 208 is the average. Has 10 hits in 48 at-bats. 2 extra base hits, a double and a home run. This pitch is low. And 1 ball and 1 strike. We'll see Ryan Martinez on the mound in the bottom of the first for the Trailblazers. He will be on the mound with a 1-0 lead. Here's a 1-1. That stays low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Of course, a day of celebration again here at ACU, the official grand opening of Bullock Brothers Ballpark, Crutcher Scott Field. Great crowd is on hand. The weather is absolutely perfect for this thing. We will have the Vice President of Athletics, Zach Lassiter, join us in the 5th inning to talk about the celebration here today. Of course, this has been a vision of ACU baseball for the course of the last 4 or 5 years that has now come to fruition. The vision has become a reality over the course of the last 10 months. As soon as the last home game was played last season, the construction started. Demolition of part of the stadium and a rebuild. It's a beautiful ballpark for baseball. There's a 2-2 off the end of the bat. Payne will charge. He'll throw in plenty of time. Johnson is retired, as are the Trailblazers. But an RBI single by Finnegan Stewart has given Utah Tech an early lead. 1-0 Trailblazers will move to the bottom of the first. Back to the ballpark. There's a good look at Abilene Christian University, and we're on the north side of campus as we move to the bottom of the first. And here's a look at Ryan Martinez. He'll take the mound with a 1-0 lead as he is ready to go. He makes his 8th start of the year.
Yeah, the ERA good at 3.57. His first win back against Cal State University Bakersfield a couple of weeks ago. And started last weekend against Utah Valley in Game 2. Got through 7 innings. Gave up just a couple of big long balls. And then to start the 8th inning, he came back for the 8th, gave up 2 solo shots to get things going. So the line ended up being 6 earned runs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. It was a rare 3-walk day for Martinez last weekend. He's a pitcher that normally does not allow a whole lot of free passes.
Here's a look at the Wildcat lineup. Not many changes. Grant Watkins, the DH. Diego Cardenas not in the lineup today. Jack Nielsen, the first baseman, will bat 7th. Regala, Watkins, Payne, Arias, Hardcastle, Boussard, Nielsen, Greer, and Meese. A team batting average for the Wildcats at 284. Again, just 5 hits last night, but 2 of those left the yard, and that was the difference in the 3-2 win. Braden Regalo, the freshman center fielder, in that leadoff spot. He'll show bunt, fouls it left side. Looked like he wanted to pull that back. Just did not get the bat out of the zone. And he'll have to protect it 0-2. Martinez has gone at least 6 innings in all 7 of his starts. Triple-digit pitches last week versus Utah Valley. So he's a guy that's in for the long haul. Held Utah Valley to just the 4 runs through the first 7 innings and then gave up the back-to-back home runs in the top of the 8th, and that was the end of the night. Regala will lift this one into center field. Royal has it tracked a few steps over to his left, and he'll make the catch. That's a tough part of the ballpark to hit a fly ball today. That's going to go the way of the defense every time this afternoon.
Yeah, with the right-handed pitcher on the mound, a couple of switch hitters in the ACU lineup. It's actually going to be 5 left-handed hitters from that side of the plate. The play of factors, that wind's blowing in hard from right field, not going to be able to drive the ball for much power in that alley of right center field. You saw that there with Regala.
First pitch, Grant Watkins, again today's designated hitter, played first base last night. 1 for 4 in the opener. The average sits now at 336. Grant has started every game. He'll go the opposite way. Elliott Jones in left field misplayed it for a second, but able to stab it up over his head last second. That was a liner that had some tail on it. Jones with a smile on his face as he's able to corral it and make the catch.
And when Watkins is good, he likes to go the other way when he can. He kind of drives this one out there. And tough play by Jones, but able to haul it in and a good out too.
So quickly 2 out. Here's Zant Payne. Payne had the home run again, bottom of the 7th, after Utah Tech had scored 2 in the top of the inning to tie us. Payne, the game-winning home run, game-winning RBI in the bottom of the 7th that held. He'll hit this one down the line. This has a chance to stay fair, and it will. Chance for extra bases. It will hop over the wall. It's a ground rule double with 2 outs in the bottom of the 1st. Good to see Zant Payne back in the lineup. Extra base hit last night. He's got one here in the bottom of the 1st.
Yeah, really good piece. This is a ball that, if the wind's not blowing in super hard, has a chance of leaving the yard. Very similar to his home run yesterday. It gets knocked down, lands right in front of the warning track, and then takes the leap up over the wall for the 2-out ground rule double.
For Zant, that's his 4th double of the year. He's in scoring position. Nick Arias taking one in the zone 4 strike. 87 on the radar gun here for Martinez. Good mixture of pitches for Martinez. Try to keep ACU bats guessing all afternoon. Fouled left side. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, his main 2 go-tos are going to be the fastball in the upper 80s and then mixes in a changeup right around 79, 80 miles an hour. You saw there. Also will occasionally throw a breaking ball, but fastball changeup is usually his go-to.
Nick last night 1 for 4, did strike out twice versus Cade Montgomery. This one's down in the dirt. Johnson had difficulty finding it, but Payne out at second couldn't find it either. He'll stay at home. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, no reason to try to take third on that. Never make the 3rd out at the 3 bag. A base hit here can score Payne. He's got good speed.
1-2 outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Wildcat win last night pushes the conference record to 3-7, now even with Seattle U at 3-7. Sacramento State beat Seattle 6-4 last night. UT Arlington also beat Tarleton last night 4-2. Both of those teams are 3-4 now in conference. Big one for Utah Valley last night in Phoenix as UVU beats Grand Canyon 11-1 in the series opener there. Both of those teams now 8-2 in the WAC. 2-2 to Nick. Went around, strike 3. And Martinez has his first strikeout of the afternoon. A 2-out double does no damage as Zant Payne is stranded there. We played 1 in Abilene. Utah Tech a 1-0 lead. And back to the ballpark, you can see the great crowd that has come in here this afternoon. The weather has cooperated. And good celebration of the renovations here at Bullock Brothers Ballpark. As Brett Landman is out for his 2nd inning. Not the cleanest of first innings as Utah Tech 1 run on 2 hits, but Brett was able to strand 2 runners there in the top of the 1st.
Yeah, that's one thing that Coach McCarty likes about Landman is able to get out of innings when he does have traffic on the base paths. He's been good at that. He was good at that as a freshman last year. Showed a lot of poise and a lot of veteran presence, even though it was his first year in college baseball. So providing that can be huge for a weekend starter.
There's another good look at the ballpark. See everybody currently in the shade down that first base line, but we'll fill in as the sun continues to set here in Abilene this afternoon. Yeah, we'll have Zach Lasser, the Vice President for Athletics, join us in the 5th inning to talk about all the festivities going on this weekend and this afternoon. It's the bottom of the lineup here, 7, 8, and 9. First time through, Aaron Perez, Petey Soto Jr., and Elliott Jones. Perez, the first baseman, big cut, comes up empty. Perez last night 1 for 3, did score a run in that 2-run 7th. It's back-to-back walks for Utah Tech in that 7th, and both of those walks came around to score. So Perez was one of those. Talked about Brett's appearance last week versus Sac State. Sac State scored in 7 of the 9 innings last Saturday during Brett's appearance. And again, it wasn't that Brett pitched terribly bad. Of course, the long ball will put a tally mark on the scoreboard in a hurry. Sac State was able to score in 7 of those 9 innings last Saturday. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here to Aaron Perez. Perez, the senior, started at Cal State Bakersfield. Now here at Utah Tech. Chopper foul, first base side. There's another look. The field turf here at Crutcher Scott is also brand new. It was just put in, what, about January, December, January, right before the season started. The renovations here.
The Wildcats really only had about a week to get comfortable on it in practice before their first game here in 2025. They were having to practice down the road a little bit at a local high school while they were redoing the turf just a couple of weeks before the season.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Perez. We'll do it again. Of course, the Wessel Family Player Development Center for the players. There's a courtyard here, a pavilion area, new team room for the team, even new classroom facility here on site for the Wildcat baseball players. Rick McCarty has just been tickled pink with all the upgrades that his team has seen. Boy, Landman thought that was strike 3, walked all the way off the back of the mound. Stays high, ball 3.
Yeah, we saw this last night. Just a breaking ball that flips into the top of the zone. Sometimes you get the call, sometimes you don't. He didn't get it there.
Payout pitch to Perez. Swung on and missed. High fastball. Got it. First strikeout of the afternoon.
There you go. Fastball high after the curveball, trying to get it to drop in at the top of the zone. Instead, this time he just blows it right by him. 91 miles an hour on the gun. And a big swing and miss for out number 1.
There's a look at Rick McCarty there at the hoodie on, the sunglasses. 7th year with the Wildcats. 4 consecutive 30-win seasons for this ACU Wildcat program under Rick's leadership. There's Petey Soto Jr. First pitch, another fastball for a strike. Soto last night also 1 for 4, did strike out twice. The average at 284. He's one of 3 Trailblazers in this lineup who's started now all 34 games. He'll hit this opposite way. Benjamin Greer has it tracked and will make the catch. And another look at Rick McCarty again. 30 consecutive wins, 30 wins, 4 consecutive seasons for the skipper in his 7th year. And again, he is so loyal to this program. I don't know the right word to say here, but he has seen a vision for this ACU program. He's built a culture, he's built a community around it, and that's all part of the upgrades that we've seen, not only on the field, but off the field too.
Yeah, the consistency piece there, just really able to progress a culture and a program like the Wildcats have done, and that starts with your head coach being here for so many seasons, 7th year in the purple and white, and doing a really good job building this program. He's trying to build something special, trying to get this team to a regional come May and June.
As Elliott Jones in the 9 spot, who makes the start today, just his 6th of the year. 150 the average, just 3 for 20 on the year for Jones. Again, gets the start here in left today. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fastball on the outside is 2-2.
Jones pinch hit in yesterday's game in that leadoff spot in the 9th and struck out for the 2nd out of that inning in just a 1-run ball game.
Landman looks for a 1-2-3, top of the 2nd. Just misses on the outside corner. Much to the dismay of the home crowd.
Yeah, early it's been a pretty tight zone, not getting the low strike, which is where Landman really likes to sit.
And payoff pitch stays outside. It's a 2-out walk for Elliott Jones. First walk of the afternoon. 2nd free pass, the first a hit by pitch, and now the 2-out walk.
The center fielder, number 30, Ethan Royal.
That'll take us back to the top of the lineup, Ethan Royal. Royal was hit by that pitch to lead off the first and came around to score the RBI single by Finnegan Stewart. Stopped a string of 4 consecutive that Landman had retired. Back working out of the stretch. And stays low for a ball. And a throw over, and back in is Jones. This homestand wraps up 6 consecutive home games for the Wildcats. They're about to hit the road over the course of the next 2 weeks. Do have a midweek home game this coming week on Tuesday the 15th versus Incarnate Word. Then on the road for a pretty good stretch over a 2-week span. So they'll be at UT Arlington next week. Then a home-and-home midweek with Texas Tech before they go to Seattle. So pretty tough stretch there. 7 of 8 on the road with trips to Arlington, Lubbock, and Seattle, all squeezed into a 2-week stretch. All the more important to try to win some games here this weekend. There's the 1-1. Fastball to Royal. It's in for a strike.
Yeah, in conference play, it's important to win when you're at home. Wasn't able to get the job done last weekend, getting swept at their own place against Sacramento State, but trying to respond in a positive manner this weekend. They got it done last night in a close pitcher's duel in game 1.
Runner on the move. It's a high fastball. Royal swings and misses, and it's strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Landman. We played an inning and a half. Utah Tech, they've got a 1-0 lead in Abilene.
In the top of the 2nd inning, there were no runs scored, no errors, and 1 run on base.
1-0 lead for Utah Tech. We move to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Ryan Martinez gave up a 2-out double to Zant Payne, but was stranded out at 2nd. Good first clean inning for Martinez. And he'll see Hardcastle, Boussard, and Nielsen here in this bottom of the 2nd inning. Hardcastle, the third baseman, his first look at Martinez. Pitched in the top part of the zone for a strike. Hardcastle, the junior from Richmond, down in the Houston area. Started his career at Angelina College. First year in a Wildcat uniform. 346 the average to start the day. 3 home runs, 18 RBIs. Slugging percentage up over 500 at 506. 21st start of the year. Had a chance to get in the defensive lineup and has not given up that spot once he took over.
Yeah, it was kind of because of that Zant Payne injury. When Arias moved over to shortstop to fill that gap, Hardcastle was able to get some time at 3rd and has really done outstanding job defensively. His bat has come along really nicely as well. Hit some good competitive at-bats last night in game 1. None of them really going his way. He did have a walk and a strikeout. His first at-bat went 11 pitches, ended up in a tough, pretty deep fly out to center field. Really, I was impressed with all 4 of his at-bats. 3 of them not quite going his way, drawing the walk, but he's in a good spot right now with his head and where he's at in the box. He looks comfortable. Going deep into counts. You see here at 3-2.
Foul another one off. You know, that 11 pitch at bat came in that bottom of the second. I thought it was an at bat that really put some fatigue on Cade Montgomery, maybe. I mean, forced him to work in that second inning. Later in that second inning was the Ben Greer 2-run home run. So that at bat kind of set the table for that bottom of the second.
Yeah, after Hardcastle, he went walk, gave up the 2-run home run, and then a really hard single by Maddox Misi before getting the ground ball to wrap things up in that inning.
Fouls another one off. We'll extend this at bat again. Our third 3-2 count. Infield plays at normal depth. They play deep all the way around, anticipating a hard ground ball on this field turf. 3-2 pitch, and Martinez loses him. It's a leadoff walk. Another good at bat for Sam Hardcastle.
Yeah, just a really good job, especially to get things going as the leadoff hitter in the second inning. Great to get a runner on if you're the Wildcats. And Hardcastle, just a really smart, patient player that will provide good outcomes as the game goes on.
And that'll bring up Louis Boussard, the freshman left fielder. Already called his name twice out in left field, making defensive plays. He'll show bunt, lay it down third base side. Charging Krapel, can't field it cleanly. They'll call it foul. It's right on the line, down that third base line, called foul. As Krapel tried to barehand it, couldn't do it, but home plate umpire Drew Eaton called it foul.
Yeah, Krapel came crashing in really hard. You have to always expect the bunt when Louis Boussard is at the plate. It was a really nice job getting it down. Of course, with this turf, it tends to kind of peak towards foul territory, and it did there. Good job by Krapel. I think he had a chance to get him out at first, but obviously if you can pick it up and take the strike, you'll prefer that so that the job does not get done on the Wildcats offense.
Boussard has not laid down a sacrifice bunt all year long. This pitch well outside, make it 1-1. And now Krapel at third is charging hard. He's a solid 3, 4, 5 steps in the infield grass.
Yeah, this is a tough matchup for Boussard as Martinez throws a lot of pitches that run away from a left-handed hitter. You'd love for him to be able to lay down a bunt down the first base line, but as those pitches go away, the two-seam fastball, the changeup kind of go towards that right-handed batter's box. It's tough to get around it and pull it with you on a drag bunt.
Runner on the move, Boussard will put it into play. Chance for 2, tough play at second, safe at second, the out at first. They've called Hardcastle safe at second base. McDaniel fielded cleanly, flipped to Soto Jr. I'm not sure if Soto had his foot on the bag when he made the play. So Hardcastle safe at second. What's a bang-bang play? Boussard out at first, which will go as a random 4-6-3 on the out at first.
The first baseman, number 32, Jack Nielsen.
We'll take another look. I thought the throw beat him. Let's take another look from the center field angle.
Yeah, it's tough to see there with the action if his foot was on. Kind of dragged the toe across the top of the bag. And now our umpires are going to come out and make a ruling. Coach Vadenhauer came out to visit with third base umpire Matthew Stelgis, but they'll keep the runner on second, out at first. Tough play. It was a good job turning it by McDaniel and Soto up the middle of the infield, just not quite in time.
Not your typical 4-6-3. It is a 4-6-3, but just for the 1 out over at first base. Hardcastle, who was moving on the pitch, able to get there in time, stay out of the double play. Here's Jack Nielsen, who will lift one into left, right at Jones. Few steps back, will make the catch. Hardcastle retreats back to second. It's Nielsen the start at first base. Aggressive there, and that at bat hit it well, but right at Jones.
Nielsen doesn't get a whole lot of at-bats throughout the course of a season typically, but what he's done so far when he steps in to catch for Maddox Meese or to play first as he is today, he's been able to find some barrels. He played pretty good last weekend, didn't have a whole lot of base hits, but just had some good at-bats and some hard contact baseballs.
So here's Ben Greer, first pitch swinging, loose one into right field, will fall in front of Stewart for a base hit. Hardcastle on his way to the plate, he will slide in safely. It's an RBI single for Ben Greer. His hot weekend continues. We're tied at 1, bottom second.
Yeah, this is just the kind of weekend that Ben Greer needed to get going. This is a Wildcat who's a preseason all-conference selection, had a slow start to the year, kind of slipped down in that lineup, now in that 8th spot, had a big two-run home run in last night's game and a huge RBI single to tie things up here in the second.
RBI number 23 on the year for Ben, is 3rd on the weekend. Wildcats have only scored now 4 runs on the weekend. Greer has 3 of the 4 RBIs. Maddox Meese will foul the first one off, the junior catcher from San Antonio. Meese the average at 202 as he starts game number 30. Again, the defensive backstop for this pitching staff of the Wildcats. ACU aggressive on the base pass all season long. They've been successful as well, 68 of 81 on the year. Greer has 16 of those stolen bases. He's 16 for 18. Might be a good time for a hit and run situation. Runner is on the move. It's a high fastball for a ball. The throw down to second. A great throw by Johnson will get Greer at second base. A caught stealing will end the inning. We have tied the ball game, though, an RBI single from Ben Greer. 2 innings complete. It's 1-1 in Abilene. One ball game into the top of the 3rd inning. 1 run on 2 hits for both teams. No errors committed yet for either team this weekend. As Brett Landman into his 3rd inning, 39 pitches through 2 innings of work. Maybe a little high, but he's got plenty in the tank to try to push it out 6, 7, 8 innings today.
A couple of guys on base already in these first 2 innings, so given that, the pitch count looking pretty good. Landman's a guy that can give you some longevity within a game. He's starting to settle in a groove here. He's finding that fastball, finding that cutter, and then he'll mix in the curveball as we see hitters come up 2nd and 3rd time around.
Hunter Katchke 0 for 1, the DH to lead off the 3rd. As Katchke, his first time up, skied one out to left field. The wind pushed it all the way into foul territory, but Boussard made the catch out in foul territory. It's a 1 for 5 weekend thus far for Katchke. Off speed, he was well out in front. It's 1-1.
Landman kind of has 2 different styles of starts this season. Sometimes he's more reliant on the fastball when it feels comfortable, he feels hard. Today, it's kind of the other way. It's more reliant on the cutter, especially with this right-handed hit-heavy lineup. Kind of moving in on their hands. Upper 80s is the velocity for that pitch, and he's just been a little more comfortable throwing that at the bottom of the zone than he has locating his fastball today.
2 balls and 1 strike as the last pitch skipped in. Here's the 2-1. This one skips in as well. He's well short of home plate by 2, 3, 4 feet. Rick McCarty likes this pitching staff, though. Of course, we saw Dominic Reed, what he could do last night. Landman here, Cade McGard tomorrow. He really likes the starting rotation. Trying to build some depth and consistency in the middle relief and the closing role, too. We saw Henry Cohn in the closing role last night get the save. There's a pitch to Ketchke on the outside corner for a strike. It's 3-2. This is a Utah Tech lineup. Batting average of 269. Again, they just don't put big innings together. They'll settle for 1 or 2 when they can get them. Landman, another strikeout, his 3rd of the afternoon. It's just not a lineup that's built for big innings, crooked numbers all the
The
time.
second baseman, number 14.
That's really been the
Kyle
difference.
McDaniel.
Again, last night, Utah Tech with more hits than ACU, just didn't string those together over the course of 9 innings. This guy's been hitting the baseball. Kyle McDonald 1 for 1 tonight, 4 for 5 on the weekend. Show bunt, lay it down right side, and he will beat this out. Perfectly laid bunt, second base. Arias was playing deep in the second base hole, and McDaniel bunted it past Landman where he couldn't play it. Arias, a long run's not going to get there in time to throw out McDaniel. 2 for 2 for Kyle. He's on with 1 out.
Yeah, just a really great bunt. That was that pull drag that I was talking about when Broussard was up at the plate. Landman, a left-handed pitcher, threw a cutter on that pitch, and it was kind of up in the zone inside. Just a perfect pitch to have that bunt with, and McDaniel did a great job. You know, Kyle, now with 5 hits on the weekend.
Yeah.
He had 3 last night, 2 today. 3 of those have stayed in the infield, and then the other 2 have barely snuck out.
I think 4 have stayed in the infield, both today, 2 yesterday, if I remember right. Yesterday, you had the high chop that stayed right on the third baseline.
Oh, yeah, in the first at-bat today, Hardcastle knocked it down on the dive, yeah.
Yeah, 4 of the 5 have stayed in the infield. That was high baseball IQ right there. He saw a hole in the defense. He saw Arias playing deep, just pushes it past Landman, and Arias has no chance. That'll keep that average going in the positive direction. Already at 361 to start the day. Stewart had the RBI single in the first that scored Royal. 1-0 here, popped up. Misi will give chase. This one will get into the stands. And a souvenir for somebody here at the ballpark today.
It's a ball that normally stays in. Misi probably would catch that on the ACU logo right behind the plate, but the wind just carrying it out of the stadium and out of play.
Nice play on the bounce. And the 1-1. It's in 4 strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wildcat defense plays at normal double play depth all the way around. They did turn their 29th double play of the year last night, the traditional 6-4-3. Of course, last night Arias was at shortstop, Payne was at second. They have flipped their positions here today. 1-2 count to Stewart. Fastball inside. McDaniel took the first step to second, but retreats back to first. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This might be a nice action pitch for McDaniel to try to get the wheels turning over at first. He's got 4 stolen bases on 6 attempts on the season here in a 2-2 count. Landman's been going a lot of balls down below the zone. Has spiked a couple, so you never know.
There's the 2-2. Fouled the opposite way. We'll do 2-2 again. Yeah, this Utah Tech team not as aggressive as one may think. As the scouting report said, we'll play small ball, we'll move runners. We love to first and third, get in first and third situations, put action on the base pass. Have only stolen 28 bases as a team now here in game number 34, so less than 1 stolen base per game. 2-2 for the second time here to Stewart. Landman the kick, the 2-2, off speed, swung on and missed for strike 3. 4th strikeout for Landman, 2 down here in the 3rd.
A good pitch, again, going right back to the bottom of the zone, letting it look like a strike for so long, then it just kind of falls down beneath it. And a really good pitch there with 2 strikes to get that swing and miss.
Ryan Krapel 0 for 1, flew out to left his first time up. Landman really holding the runner. Is that part of the strategy to keep the runner from getting a good read? Brett's really holding his for a long time before he comes to the plate.
Yeah, really mixing mixing it up with the timing. Even one of those guys that likes to work quick.
Now runner on the move. Throw down to second is late. It's a stolen base, and the throw gets into center field. Regala's throw back to third is late as well. Stolen base, an E2, and McDaniel now at third base with 2 outs.
And knew at some point in this inning, McDaniel would probably try to get into scoring position. He waited until there was 2 outs. Wasn't too worried about the double play with Stewart at the dish. And then able to take second there. Now just 90 feet away. It's going to be up to Misi as Landman has spiked several pitches in these first few innings. So have to be a big backstop to keep that run from scoring on an easy walk home.
0-2 to Crapel. Low and outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brett will still work out of the stretch with McDaniel at third. 4 strikeouts, he looks for strikeout number 5. The kick, the 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Typically you'd see a shift to the pull side with Crapel at the plate. We saw that last night, but with the wind the way it is, the outfield is mostly pretty straight up as it's going to push it kind of the opposite field for this left-handed hitter.
2-2 fouled off. We'll do that again. Ty Johnson waits on deck if the inning can continue. 1 out bunt single by Kyle McDaniel. He stole second, went to third on the error. Second error of the weekend by the Wildcats. The 2-2. Curveball hit a long way right field. Greer will give chase. He'll get to the warning track. He'll run out of room. It's a 2-run home run. Ryan Crapel into the teeth of the wind blowing in from right field. He has left the yard. Utah Tech has the lead, 3-1, top of the third.
Yeah,
Good
this
pitch.
one just right down the middle, missed location by Landman. We saw it last weekend against Sacramento State, just making a couple of bad pitches here and there, and the hitters making him pay. And Crapel does just that. This is a breaking ball that's just left hanging right down the middle. Even though it's straight into the wind, he had enough power to get that one cleared by quite a bit out in right field. A good swing by Ryan Crapel, getting his pitch and tattooing it out to right field.
His 4th long ball of the year, RBIs 18 and 19. First home run of the weekend for the Trailblazers. Home run number 27 as a team. They've got the 3-1 lead. Bases are empty for Ty Johnson. Johnson 0 for 1 tonight. A ground out to shortstop. Landman's fallen behind in the count here, 2-0. Chopper foul, third base side. Crapel guessed correctly on that pitch. He knew what was coming. Turned on it in a hurry. That ACU bullpen has been the recipient of every home run we've seen this weekend. All 3 that we've seen this weekend have landed in that ACU bullpen behind the right field wall. Here's one driven into left field. Few steps back. Broussard, he drops it. Drops it in left. Did not see it all the way into the glove. Hit off the glove, found its way to the turf. It's the 2nd error of the inning. Well, that's unfortunate. That's a liner that Broussard had a beat on. Didn't have to move very much, just didn't make the catch.
This ball was hit well, 105 off the bat, just right at Broussard in left field, and a very rare miscue by this ACU defense. First outfielder error for the Wildcats this season. You talked about that a little bit ago. I don't know if that's a broadcaster jinx or what, but that's a ball that should be caught, and Broussard does not usually make that mistake.
We'll see Landman's reaction here. He thinks he's out of the top of the third, and he's got to make a few more pitches. You know that's frustrating. After the 2-out home run, he had just given up a few pitches before, and Rick McCarty's out to the mound, and I think this is a settle down my pitcher and my infield. Let's get out of this top of the third inning.
Yeah, there's 2 outs, and you have Aaron Perez coming up to the plate that already has a strikeout in today's game, but even with 2 outs, Johnson, a little bit of speed, could take a base and get in scoring position, and it's kind of one of those innings that could spiral out of control and turn into a big inning that we've seen ACU give up over the course of the last 3 weeks. That's what McCarty cannot allow to have happen here in the third. Keep this close and give the offense a chance to get back into this one.
And just a meeting of the minds that is over. So Johnson now at first and Aaron Perez to the plate. Kind of uncharacteristic for the Wildcats. 3 errors on the weekend, 2 here in this inning. A team that had only made 19 coming into the weekend. Already 3. We're just 12 innings deep to the series. Perez struck out to lead off the second.
Luckily for Brett Landman, this is a matchup that he will like for the rest of his day here, as long as Aaron Perez is in the box. Lefty-lefty matchup. Perez not great against lefties.
This is Sky in foul territory. Hardcastle at third base right up against the wall. Runs out of real estate. Land just outside the playing surface for a long strike. It's 1-1. Perez, a guy with some power as well. 5 home runs on the year. 29 RBIs. Leads the Trailblazers in that category. .495 the slugging percentage. It's a 1-1 count. Johnson over at first, not a threat. Try to steal a bag. Fouled back to the screen, it's 1-2.
Perez typically a pull hitter, but with Landman on the mound throwing that cutter moving away from him, it'd probably be best for his game plan to try to take it the other way, especially with the wind the way it is. A line drive out into left field needs to be what Perez is shooting for here.
The 1-2. Fouled off again. We'll do it again.
Landman has not worked to the edges of the plate as much as sometimes he hopes to. It's been a lot more changing the eye level up and down with the fastball and the cutter low.
He'll hold it a long time again. Time asked for here at home plate. As Perez will step out. And Brett's kind of lost his rhythm here. I think after the bunt single by McDaniel, just runners on the base pass have seemed to be in the back of the mind of Landman this entire inning. He's got a 1-2 count and a chance to get out of the top of the third one more time. Perez trying to extend the offense. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Landman gets out of it. He's got 5 strikeouts now, and the side is retired, but Utah Tech, a 2-run home run by Ryan Crapel and a 3-1 Utah Tech lead. Hey, with more on the renovations here at Bullock Brothers Ballpark and Crutcher Scott Field, we send it down to Roman Raffelli. Hey, Roman.
Thanks, Andy. Welcome to the newly renovated Bullock Brothers Ballpark here in Abilene. Let's take a tour of the new facility. The covered awning has given the first base side some much-needed shelter from the sun. New signage has been added across the facility, paying tribute to the Bullock brothers who played for ACU back in the day while still keeping the Crutcher Scott name from before. An ACU sign filled with baseballs was added in the tunnel behind home plate with names of groups and families who contributed to make this facility happen. From ACU baseball alumni to staff and faculty on campus, this field was made possible by everyone in the ACU community's contributions. Donors were able to choose what was engraved on their baseball to create a unique wall of messages and tributes. Finally, a wall of plaques was put in the main concourse on the first base side, honoring the Bullock family along with other major donors who made this facility come to life here in Abilene. It's an awesome facility, and the players can't wait to show it off for the rest of the season and many years to continue. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Roman. Great stuff. A great visual of what we are experiencing here. And Jaden, we had the opportunity to talk. We've been to Dishfalk Field in Austin. We've been to Danlaw Field in Lubbock. We've been to Bluebell Park in College Station. We've been to Fort Worth, Waco, you name it. This one's cream of the crop. This is top notch. The renovations that have taken place here in Abilene is something special.
Yeah, we have a really comfortable setup here. We talked about it some last night. We're really close to the field. It feels more of a fan perspective than way up in a press box so far away from home plate that you can't really see what's going on. It's a very intimate setting here at the new Bullock Brothers ballpark, and we're reaping the benefits of it. The fans are reaping the benefits of it as they sit in the shade, something that was not there just last season. And just a really great addition to this program, and just it looks really good, and it's a great environment to be a part of.
Yeah, family friendly, of course, here on the ACU campus for all ages to come experience great baseball game, and perfect weather today as well for game 2 of this 3-game set. So we move to the bottom of the third. Utah Tech with the 3-1 lead. The Ryan Crapel 2-run home run in the top of the third. Maddox Meese to lead it off. Maddox was at the plate when Benjamin Greer was caught stealing. And Maddox's first official at bat here in this bottom of the third. Meese, Regala, and Watkins 9-1 and 2. Maddox will take a strike. Again, Maddox, the average at .202 on the year, 2 home runs, 14 RBIs. He's a guy that finds his way on base courtesy of the free pass. He leads the team with 29 walks, 9 hit by pitches. He'll sky this one the opposite way. It will find fair territory down the right field line. Extra bases to lead off the bottom of the third. Maddox Meese's got a leadoff double. Take it where it's pitched, hit it the opposite way. Runner on second base.
Yeah, this is another guy in the Wildcat lineup who needed to get going this weekend, kind of sunk down from being as far up as the leadoff guy to the cleanup spot. Now in the 9-hole, him and Ben Greer need to get things going with the bats. And now Greer with an RBI single last inning. Maddox Meese now with a leadoff double in this inning. They had good games yesterday and good start to game 2.
So in scoring position, top of the lineup, Braden Regala. Trailblazers anticipating a sacrifice bunt here from Braden. He will show it. He'll pull it back. Pitches outside. It's Crapel at third. Plays well in the infield grass.
And typically with a runner on second, the third baseman tries to stay home, and the pitcher is supposed to cover that third base line. But with Regala, such a good bunter, they should go ahead and probably crash both corners. They'll send the second baseman over to cover the bag at first base and go ahead and give up that base to Meese over at third.
Utah Tech defense has played it clean all series thus far. No errors on the year. They had 48 on the year coming into the weekend. Not made one yet. Good bunt, Regala. Will it stay fair? No, it will not. It will tail off into foul territory.
So similar to the Broussard bunt, just really good. Starts in the green, but as it with the spin on it and coming from a left-handed hitter, starts to tail towards foul territory. Really high IQ play there to let it go foul, because Regala with his speed, a good chance of being safe and picking up a single on that one.
This is one of Braden's specialties on the year. He can lay down the sacrifice. He leads the team with 5 sacrifice bunts on the year. He'll swing away here 1-1, fouls it off third base side. Now 2 strikes in the count, probably swinging away from here on out. Braden, a guy who started the year in the 9-hole spot, had to earn his keep in the offensive lineup, and he did that. Started hot in the opening series versus Illinois, and he's stayed that way all year. He's been the leadoff guy the last 20 games. This outside, it's 2-2. Impact player immediately, both offensively and defensively. He can cover some real estate in center field. Of course, the WAC play of the week 2 weeks ago, a diving catch, a left center field gap. Hit this one up the middle, knocked down by Soto, a spin, a throw, what a play, Petey Soto Jr. Out at first is Regala for the first out of the inning. It works like a sacrifice. Meese able to move up to third, but what a play, Petey Soto Jr.
Yeah, he did a good job hitting behind the runner. I know that I thought Regala had that as maybe a single off the bat, but Soto Jr. showing off the range, showing off the skills to spin, get up, and throw a strike over to the bag at first base. Just a really great play here by Petey Soto Jr. and a big out one. Now the Wildcats need to capitalize with a runner on third, less than 2, and their big man Grant Watkins at the plate.
Well, I thought even if Soto gets to that, knocks it down, Regala with great speed down the line is going to beat that out. Not the case. What a play by the shortstop. It's Grant Watkins now at the plate. It's a 1-1 count. Watkins 0 for 1. He flew out to left. A play that Elliott Jones almost misplayed in left. Made a catch up over his head. The shift is on here for Watkins. This one fouled first baseline. This has been an area the Wildcats have struggled, is getting runners in. They have stranded a lot of runners over conference play. Stranded 28 in that Grand Canyon series, a series that feels very similar thus far to this Utah Tech series. The pitching has been really good. ACU could not get runners across in that Grand Canyon series. Have a chance to change that narrative here. Watkins will swing through a pitch here, and Martinez has a strikeout, second strikeout of the afternoon.
And just late on this fastball. A great location, kind of left it out over the middle of the plate. You see there, catcher Johnson wanted it outside. Peeked back over towards the middle, but Watkins just not able to catch up to it. And it's a big out too to give him a chance to strand a runner at third.
Bring Zant Payne back to the plate. Had a double his first time up. One-handed swing. The bat comes out of his right hand. Swing and miss. Martinez a chance for a clean inning here after the leadoff double by Maddox Meese. Martinez has been consistent thus far in his first 3 innings. Making pitches when he needs to.
And throughout the season, that's what's allowed him to get so deep into ball games. We've seen him go 94, 96 last week, over 100 pitches. And it's that consistency that keeps him coming back out for innings 6, 7, and 8, you know, each start.
Yeah, all 7 starts have been 6+. He's ahead in the count here, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Of course, Payne's been a tough out this weekend. The home run last night, the double today. He's also walked, he's been hit by a pitch. He's been on base 4 of his first 5 plate appearances. We'll have to protect here, 1-2 count. He will, he'll hit it the opposite way. It's an RBI single into left. Welcome back to the lineup, Zant Payne. It's a 3-2 Utah Tech lead, bottom of the 3rd.
Yeah, this is a very competitive pitch from Martinez. A pitch just going away from the left-handed hitter, low in the zone. Really can't ask for much better pitch location, but Zant Payne stays hot, hitting it where it's pitched, right through that 5-6 gap. Picks up a big RBI single as Wildcats start to chip away. You know, Andy, this just feels like a game that's just going to have a little bit more offense. Last night, the score ended 3-2. That was the final. And it was just a couple of big hits by each team that got the job done. Today, it just feels like you'll see a lot more hitting. Guys finding some grass out in the outfield.
That RBI was number 22 for Payne on the year. And it continues to be the Benjamin Greer Zant Payne weekend. They're the only 2 Wildcats with RBIs. Same 2 last night. The combination had all of the RBIs last night. They've done the same thus far this afternoon. Nick Arias, a 1-1 count. Nick struck out his first time, one of 2 Martinez strikeouts thus far this afternoon. 1-1 hit the opposite way into right field. It's another single. ACU starting to string together some hits. Their 3rd of the inning. First and second with 2 outs.
Yeah, Arias finally able to get to a fastball, something that he's kind of been behind over the course of the last 2 games. He's had 3 strikeouts, 2 yesterday, 1 today. Those strikeouts just been him not looking comfortable in the box, late on a fastball. They're able to drive it out into right field for the single, and a good piece of hitting by the cleanup hitter for the Wildcats.
The tying run now, Zant Payne at second base in scoring position. Arias at first. Sam Hardcastle walked and scored first time up. Good curveball there, swung on and missed. course, we talk about almost every weekend, Jaden, just the battle of attrition with pitching staffs. Neither team went terribly deep in the bullpen last night. We anticipate the same today, but this Utah Tech staff is pretty much all right-handers. We saw the left-hander last night in Brock Roundy. Roundy went 3 innings. Don't know how available he is. He's really the only left-hander on the staff for Utah Tech, which means we'll see a lot, I would think, for ACU and their standpoint, this lineup the majority of the rest of the way this weekend.
And that favors the Wildcats as they have multiple left-handed hitters, especially the 3 switch-hitting hitters in the lineup today prefer to hit left-handed.
Tough chop in the infield. It gets out of McDaniel's hands. Everybody's safe. I think it would have been a tough play. We'll see if that's ruled an infield single. It should be. McDaniel didn't field it cleanly with the bare hand, but I don't think it gave up a base anywhere. Should be an infield single. The base is loaded for the Wildcats. And the first visit, Chris Fatenauer will make his way out here and visit with his pitcher, Martinez. Single? You think single?
I think it is an infield single, yeah. Hardcastle was getting down the line. Looked like he had it legged out for the single before McDaniel really had a chance to make that play.
Has not been scored officially on the electronic stats that we have, nor on the scoreboard. A lot of runners on the base pass here this inning for the Wildcats. Already 1 run is in. Maddox Meese led off the inning with a double, came around to score. 3 consecutive singles here, Payne, Arias, and Hardcastle.
Yeah, the Wildcats doing a good job of keeping the ball low, not flying out in the air with this wind. It's going to be hard to leave the ballpark. ACU not really a huge slugging team anyway. Being able to put together some singles is exactly what they need. Now, a big opportunity for Louis Boussard.
It has been officially ruled a single, so the Wildcats with 4 hits in the inning, 6 on the afternoon. Louis Boussard, a ground out his first time, rips one right to the first baseman. Great catch, Perez. A liner that Perez was ready for and makes the catch. ACU leads them loaded, but they do get 1 in the inning. We've completed 3. It's 3-2 Utah Tech. Another look at campus. Abilene Christian University wrapping up the spring semester. Just a few weeks left until final exams and graduation here at ACU. We're on the other side of campus here at Bullock Brothers Ballpark, Crutcher Scott Field. We move to the middle innings. And Utah Tech has the 3-2 lead. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Utah Tech. 2 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for ACU. It's the 2 errors in that top of the third that extended that inning, but a big-time hit by Ryan Crapel. The 2-run home run, really the difference right now, as Utah Tech has the 3-2 lead. Bottom of the lineup, Soto Jr., Jones, and back to the top, and Ethan Royal. Petey Soto Jr., the big play there in the bottom of the third. ACU had a chance to put more runs on the board. Soto Jr., a great play at shortstop. Kept that to just a 1-run, ACU bottom of the third.
I've been really impressed with the defense this weekend from Utah Tech. Typically the Wildcats also a very strong defensive team, but a few errors in one yesterday, a couple already today.
Soto Jr. 0 for 1 today. He flew out to right back in the second. 1 for 5 on the weekend. Game 2 of the series. ACU won last night 3-2. Utah Tech with that same score lead here top of the 4th. Landman with 67 pitches through 3 innings. That pitch count's pretty high. He'll get a high pop-up middle of the infield. Arias at second base is underneath it. Quick out to start the fourth.
It's going to need to be at bats like that Landman gets quick outs if he wants to continue much further in this ball game. He still has plenty of pitches left, what we normally see from him, but it's just the fourth inning. Wildcats would love to see him get into the 6th and 7th to try to limit the amount of bullpen arms they have to use today.
Elliott Jones walked his first time up, starting left fielder today. Just the 6th start of the year for Jones. Had a pinch hit last night. He struck out in the 9th. Walked today. He'll ground this one. Payne at shortstop has it cleanly on 3 hops. And quickly 2 outs. Nice pick by Nielsen over at first. Hey, be sure to stay with us in the 5th inning. We will have the ACU Vice President of Athletics, Zach Lassiter, join us. Of course, we've been celebrating the grand opening of the renovations here at Bullock Brothers Ballpark all day. Zach will share his sentiments on the renovations here. We'll talk all the other ACU sports going on. Of course, spring football is taking place here on campus. His first pitch to Ethan Royal upstairs. That'll take place in the top of the 5th. Royal 0 for 1 today. He hit by a pitch in the first. He came around to score, and he struck out in the second. Royal last night with those 2 doubles, his batting average jumped 26 points last night with those 2 doubles. First 2 doubles of the year. 2-0 in for a strike.
Yeah, I didn't look at the comparison, but I'm sure the slugging numbers also jumped quite a bit as well. Picking up 2 extra base hits.
Last night batted in the 9 spot, today in that leadoff spot. Here's Landman's 2-1. Stays low, 3 balls in, 1 strike. Brett has not had a clean inning yet today. He faced 4 in the second, gave up a 2-out walk. Did no damage. Chance to go 3 up, 3 down here. 3-1. Hit to Payne. He'll play it on a short hop. Long throw across the diamond. Not in time. Good speed down the line, and Royal is safe. Payne played that on his heels and lost his balance. Almost made the put out, but Royal with good speed beats it out.
Yeah, he kind of got stuck with a in-between hop. He was hit too hard to charge and get it on the short hop. So he tried to step back and play it at his hip. And when he stepped back, he just kind of got off balance. Luckily, he's still able to glove it. It was a hard hit ball, but there goes the chance at a clean inning for Landman.
2-out single Royal at first. Hunter Katchke 0 for 2. Foul out to left and a strikeout. This one skips 10 feet in front of the plate. Misi again, a great block. I don't think anything's been to the backstop this weekend.
Yeah, Misi, that was a little bit of an issue last season. Pass balls just one of the weaker parts of his game. He was really good offensively. Now has struggled at the plate to start this year, but defensive-wise, he looks really good behind the plate. He's a trusted glove and a trusted leader that can manage his pitchers along with play the position as well.
Katchke takes a strike. It's 1-1. Infield plays deep all the way around. They'll take a hard ground ball to get out of the inning. Foul third base side. Look out. Screen in front of the third base dugout. So kept some Trailblazers from taking one on the shin. One ball and 2 strikes. Landman set the kick, the 1-2. Hits Katchke on the inside leg. And a hit by pitch, 2 on with 2 out. Both hit by pitch today have come with 2 strikes.
Yeah, Landman just doesn't look as comfortable as we've seen him. He's trying to go below the zone and he's just throwing a lot of balls down in front of the plate. He skipped a few in. He's now had a couple down around the ankles of a hitter. Just doesn't look as dialed in with the fastball as he has last year and then even the beginning part of this year.
hottest bat in the lineup, comes up with 2 on the base pass. Kyle McDaniel 2 for 2 today. That's on the inside. It gets away from Meese. I thought it might have hit the front elbow of McDaniel, but it didn't. There's the first ball all weekend that's been back to the backstop, and now 2 in scoring position with 2 out.
Yeah, here's another look at it. Well inside, up underneath the elbow of McDaniel, and Meese just not quite able to get a glove over there. So runners move up 90 feet. Now 2 runners in scoring position, and McDaniel swinging a hot bat. Pretty open hole over there in that 6 hole to the right of Zant Payne.
The 2 hits today are his 14th multiple hit game. He's 5 for 6 on the weekend, and Rick McCarty says first base is now open. We're giving up the intentional walk, so McDaniel will go down to first. The bases are loaded, but no chance for McDaniel to do the damage. Put it on the shoulders of Finnegan Stewart to try to generate some offense here for Utah Tech.
Stewart is 1 for 2 on the day at an RBI single back in the first, then struck out in the third. He was 0 for 4 last night. And though typically like the lefty on lefty matchup with McDaniel at the plate, Kyle's really good at going the other way when the left-handed pitcher on the mound. He's done that twice so far today, and so they go ahead and put him on and want to pitch to the righty instead.
Does put the force on at any base for the Wildcats. Stewart that RBI single in the first, scored Royal. He'll rip this one down the left field line. It is off the wall, extra bases, and multiple runs. 2 runs are in. McDaniel will be held at third. It's a 2-out, 2-run double for Finnegan Stewart. Utah Tech a 5-2 lead, top of the 4th.
And not necessarily a bad pitch by Landman, an inside fastball that Stewart was just able to get the barrel to. Hit it well down the left field line, push the wind, help maybe push it away from Broussard, but he had no chance of making a play on it, and a huge 2-out, 2 RBI double to extend this lead.
So Royal comes in to score, as does Ketchke. McDaniel to third, Stewart at second. 3 RBIs on the afternoon now for Stewart. The inning continues with Ryan Krapel. Had the 2-run home run his last time up. Three RBIs for Stewart today, now 25 on the year. Here's the 1-0 downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. All of this with 2 outs again. We're just talking about a clean inning for Landman. Got a pop-up and a ground out. Then an infield single, a hit by pitch, an intentional walk, and a 2-run double. Fouled at the plate, and it's 2-1. Here's a look at the Krapel home run, his last time up, top of the 3rd. That's into the teeth of the wind. About a 25-mile-an-hour wind blowing in from right. Krapel cut the wind and got the home run.
And these are the kind of innings we've been talking about for the Wildcats. Here just a little bit ago, first 2 batters were retired with a fly out and a ground out. And now they're just 1 hit away from 2 more RBI. Just turn it into a 4-run inning.
Here's one. This one hit into center field. Long run. Regali's not going to get there. And 2 more runs will cross home plate. McDaniel, Stewart both touch home. It's a 2-run single for Krapel. And a 7-2 Utah Tech lead, top of the 4th.
Yeah, this pitch kind of jammed up Krapel. It was up and in the zone. Just flare it out, muscle it over Zant Payne's head at shortstop. It fell into kind of no man's land, a little Texas leaguer to pick up 2 more RBI. And just like that, it's been a 4-run inning for the Trailblazers. They now lead 7-2. And Landman not necessarily pitching bad, just can't quite get anything to go specifically his way.
And to me, this has been the narrative, feels like all season long for this Wildcat pitching staff. Chances to get out of innings, and they have not been able to do it. As you can see activity in that ACU bullpen. It's Chandler Benson, the left-hander, starting to get loose. But you can look through all of the box scores, and there are too many 3s, 4s, and 5s for opposing offenses, and opportunities to get out of innings for the ACU pitching staff and defense, and just have not been able to do it.
Yeah, and don't forget that this inning right here all started with a ground ball to shortstop that Zant Payne kind of retreated back on, fell on his heels, and fell to the ground, had to get up and couldn't make the throw. That would have been out 3 of the inning if played cleanly.
5 consecutive have reached, 4 of those have scored, and Brett Landman's day has come to an end. We'll tell you about our new pitcher. 2 outs, top of the 4th. Utah Tech, they've got a 7-2 lead in Abilene. And back to the ballpark. Utah Tech now the 7-2 lead. 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors committed for ACU 2, 6, and 2. A 4-run top of the 4th. Again, a beautiful but a little breezy day here, but it's the warm breeze. We can handle 90 degrees and breezy. It's a beautiful day here in Abilene.
Yeah, totally different than last weekend. We had the same winds, but a lot cooler temperatures. Here it was more like a wind chill of 44 or 45 degrees instead of temperatures right around 90 degrees. Much better baseball weather today, and the bats have come out hot now for Utah Tech. They strung together a few singles for some RBIs, and now they lead by 5.
Ryan Martinez right on cue. He's right on schedule for what his stats will show you. He's 3 innings deep, 2 earned runs, 57 pitches. And all 7 of his starts this year have been 6 innings plus. He's right on pace for that again. And now faces the Wildcats bottom of the 4th with a 5-run lead. Jack Nielsen will lead it off. Nielsen, Greer, Meese, 7-8-9, second time through. Utah Tech with 1 in the 1st. ACU answered with 1 in the bottom of the 2nd. 2 for Utah Tech in the top of the 3rd. ACU 1 in that bottom of the inning. It's 3-2 after 3. 4 spot here in the top of the 4th. And Utah Tech, who had only scored 9 runs in their last 5 games combined, already with 7 today. Only scored 6 runs that entire Utah Valley series last weekend. Brown scored 33-6 last weekend. 1 run versus BYU in their midweek, 2 runs last night, 9 runs in their last 5 games. 7 here today. Full count to Nielsen. I think if you're ACU here, still plenty of time to chip away. And a leadoff walk. Wildcats for the 3rd time in 4 innings have the leadoff man on. Hey, let's go field side. Let's talk to Roman Raffelli. Hey, Roman.
Thanks, Andy. All season long, ACU baseball has been giving away player trading cards. Today's card was of starting pitcher Brett Lamb, and in addition to that giveaway card today, any fan who collects enough cards can enter a raffle for a chance to win a signed home run bat from the team. Additionally, today, fans who purchased a specific seat ticket were given an exclusive t-shirt with the picture of Bullock Brothers Ballpark on the back. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Roman. There's been great stuff all year long. The marketing department here at ACU does some great stuff. It's all about the entire game experience, not just the game on the field, but everything around. As Greer will hit this one. McDaniel will try to go to second. He will get the lead runner in Nielsen. So it goes a fielder's choice. Greer's on the base pass, but Nielsen retired first out. You have any cards? Have you collected any?
I've not collected any ACU cards over the course of this season, but a lot of fans have. It's a fun way to get kids involved. And
Absolutely.
Wonder what was the raffle for? Did Roman say?
I missed it.
If he did, I wasn't doing a very good job listening, but it's a lot of fun.
First pitch, Maddox Meese. Maddox a double his first time up, scored that in the 3rd inning. The RBI single by Zant Payne. Utah Tech does get the lead runner in Nielsen, but a fair trade for the Wildcats as Greer now on the base pass.
and he signed home run bat. That's what you win if you get the raffle. That's pretty cool.
Who's the card that you have to have? You're around these guys a lot more than I am. Who's the card? Who is the card that is in your collection?
I think a rare one that maybe a lot of people wouldn't have or wouldn't necessarily know to get. I'd have to go probably with Louis Broussard.
Okay.
A new guy, new face in the program, getting a lot of playing time out in left field. Has really stepped it up this season, and I think he'll be an undervalued card at first that stock starts to rise as this season goes on.
Macy fooled on an off-speed pitch. Good curveball from Martinez. He's down on strikes. Strikeout number 3 of the afternoon. Second out of the 4th.
Yeah, Ryan Martinez just continues to be really impressive. Been up a couple of runs throughout this ball game, but has managed his start really well today so far.
Braden Regala, top of the lineup, grounder to second. McDaniels scoops it, throws to second, gets the underhand toss, and the side is retired. ACU goes quietly in the bottom of the 4th. We've completed 4. It's a Utah Tech 7-2 lead here in Abilene. And back to the ballpark, we move to the top of the 5th. Utah Tech, the 7-2 lead, 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors yet for ACU. It is 2-6-2. We'll see the bottom of the lineup here. Aaron Perez, Petey Soto Jr., Elliott Jones to face Chandler Benson, who came in relief through 1 pitch in the top of the 4th to get out of that top of the 4th inning. Hey, we are pleased to be joined here on the broadcast in this 5th inning by the ACU Vice President of Athletics, Zach Laster. It is a celebration of the ballpark here, as you can see on the screen, Bullock Brothers Ballpark. And Zach, I know you've had a big part of this. It's been a vision for a long time for this athletic program, this baseball program, this university. It's a vision that has now come to reality. Congratulations on a job well done.
Thanks, Andy. Yeah, special day for so many folks that made this possible. We had a great pregame ceremony to celebrate the past of ACU baseball, the present, and the future. And so many folks that have such a tight connection and love of this place, to be able to celebrate that all together has been it's been a special day for a lot of people.
It's been a celebration today. Zach, I want you to take me back kind of through the timeline over the course of the last few years when the conversation started to the steps that it took to get to this time last year, 2024, when the construction fences went up, all the way to a day like today.
Yeah, it really started 2 years ago. We embarked on a facility master plan. We recognized that we had so many great new athletic facilities, right? Moody Coliseum, Wildcat Stadium, the Byron Nelson Clubhouse. What we said, well, what if we could raise all of our facilities to that standard? And through that process, we identified what projects we wanted to get to and what also would have the greatest impact based on success of the team, national exposure, and we identified the baseball program as there was a time where Coach Scott Field was our best facility. We recognized that time had elapsed since then, and so we embarked on that project and kind of identified that as that's the next one up, per se.
Here's a foul ball. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Aaron Perez, 0 for 2 for strikeout. Here's a look at some of the facilities here, just the new locker room facility for the baseball program, one of the many amenities that we've seen here at the ballpark.
Yeah, two primary goals around this project. First one, player development, all their spaces. So whether you're seeing the locker room, oh, I'm watching the game just like you are. Oh, shoot.
As this one gets over the head of Broussard all the way to the warning track, will go as extra bases. Aaron Perez, a leadoff double. 1 on with nobody out.
Yeah, sorry. So player development spaces, obviously Coach McCarty has done a great job developing men on and off the field. And so to have a space where players can develop not only baseball but other pieces, that was an incredible important part. And then the fan experience, and today's a great example, right? Beautiful Texas day with sun, a quality experience when fans come out to the ballpark, they can enjoy an experience consistent with what they're used to, right? With Moody Coliseum, Wildcat Stadium, both those places are places where you really enjoy coming out and playing. And so, yeah, to be able to pull that off within the time frame we did is pretty remarkable when you think about the ambitious nature of not only the fundraising piece of it, but also the timeline of not missing a single game, and then to be able to do it in a level of quality, the way that we really believe puts us in a really great spot to be able to build this program, take the next step in its maturation to ultimately get to a regional and to Omaha.
As Petey Soto Jr. will hit to second. Nice play, Arias, to go over to third, get the lead runner, Perez, over at third base. It will go as a fielder's choice, but the infield playing in. Perez on the move with contact. The ball's hit behind him, but Arias playing in over to Hardcastle. 4-5 on the putout. Big first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Elliott Jones with one out and a runner on first. Yeah, this last 10 months has been crazy. We played up through first part of May or middle of May, and then the construction fences went up fast. The turnaround, I thought, was highly impressive over the course of the last 10 months.
Yeah, I kept telling people we would get done, and I don't know if many people believe this.
I'm not sure
Whether
I did.
that was players or donors or media, like I kept saying, they kept asking, what's your backup plan? Like, what are you going to do when it's not going to be ready? And I kept kind of saying, hey, it's going to be ready. And I think that, obviously a lot of things had to go our way in terms of number one, securing the funding to make it possible. But then the construction timeline, all the things that can go wrong in construction projects had to go right. And folks, they just did a remarkable job working nights, weekends, whatever it took. And as we got closer and closer to that first game, there were a lot of late nights, a lot of weekends, a lot of contractors, subcontractors, everyone contributing because we wanted this to be a success story. And yeah, it was, and I think we proved a lot of those doubters wrong. Not that you were one of those, Andy, but
Never.
But I think it was fair to speculate or to be skeptical of that possibility of us doing it in such a short amount of time, especially given the ambitious nature of the project, right? Because we really tore everything down and built everything back up. It wasn't as though this was a one-room remodel. This was a major overhaul.
There were some days there in October, November. I raised an eyebrow, but you came through, and I appreciate that as we visit with the Vice President of Athletics here at ACU, Zach Lassiter. A strikeout here for Benson of Elliott Jones, second out of the inning. 2 outs, Soto over at first. Here comes Ethan Royal, the center fielder, 1 for 2 today. He scored 2 runs as well.
How are you enjoying the new? We didn't mention the press box.
Hey, Jade and I.
Right, I mean, from an ACU TV experience, you guys do such a incredible job, sharing the story of ACU baseball. Walking around this press box, it's a little bit nicer than maybe what your predecessors had to deal with.
Hey,
huh?
Major appreciation. We've been talking about that through the broadcast. We're probably 50 to 100 feet closer to home plate than where we were. The sight lines are fantastic for us, and we've compared to other places we've been, and I've been fortunate to be around a lot of facilities in the Big 12 and others. This is cream of the crop as far as from a broadcaster's perspective. So thank you. I owe you, I owe you big time.
Well, again, one of our goals obviously is to reach the postseason, and college baseball is unique in the sense of in the first round of the postseason you get to host. And so when we set out on this project, we wanted to put ourselves in a position, should Coach McCarty and the guys earn the opportunity to be in the postseason or to host, we want to be able to do that in Abilene, Texas. And so this, from every detail, including this broadcast location, everything we've done, we feel like puts us in a position to be able to host postseason baseball should we get that opportunity.
As here is the 1-2. Benson looks for a clean inning. He'll throw over to first. He's got the runner picked off, who will lose his footing. Nielsen will apply the tag, and actually they'll say the tag was not applied. The throw back from Nielsen goes into the dugout. And Petey Soto Jr. is successful in moving first to second. Well, I thought Nielsen had the tag applied as they had Soto tag. Nielsen thought he had the tag, then sails one into the dugout. It will go as the third Wildcat error of the day. And the inning will continue. The 1-2 count here to Ethan Royal. Unfortunate play as Benson had Soto Jr. picked off over at first base, but still a chance to get out of the inning. So he'll come set, and this one grounded foul. And talk about what Rick McCarty's done here. Year number 7. I think he's a visionary. He's certainly a culture builder. We're seeing it on the field with 4 consecutive 30-plus wins, but there's so many things that don't go in the stat book that he is so successful in raising young men. He has been a quality asset to this ACU program the last 7 years. Here's another pitch, grounder. This will be Payne at shortstop. He's got it cleanly. Zach, will you stay with us another half inning?
That'd be great. Yeah, we'd love to, Andy.
The Vice President of Athletics, Zach Lassiter, joins us here on the broadcast. It's a 0 for Chandler Benson. We're halfway through the ball game. Utah Tech, a 7-2 lead here in Abilene. 7-2 Utah Tech. We move to the bottom of the fifth. Again, the Vice President of Athletics, Zach Laster, joining us here on the broadcast. A celebration today, the official grand opening of Bullock Brothers Ballpark, and the renovations here at Crutcher Scott Field. The Wildcats trying to get the bats hot here in this bottom of the fifth as Grant Watkins leads it off. Watkins, Payne, and Arias.
You know, Andy, you were talking about last night about Coach McCarty and his leadership. You know, at ACU, our scoreboard looks different than a lot of the teams that we play against because, you know, we measure success based on three things, right? We want every one of our student athletes to grow in their faith. We want them to reach their potential in the classroom, compete and win championships. And it takes a pretty special coach to say at the Division I level that I sign up for that. And you watch Coach McCarty and how he approaches not just the game of baseball, but the game of life, helping these young men think about what their identity looks like, you know, their success in the classroom. He really has taken that mission into a reality. And it was fun to visit with some of his former players that were here for the ceremony today, and they talk about that, right? A lot of lessons that they learned while they were here. Well, they may have, you know, said, "Oh, Coach McCarty, don't say that again." Now they're using those same words when they're out there in the workforce, and so for him to be able to do that on a consistent basis is really inspiring.
As Watkins will go down on strikes. It's the fourth strikeout for Martinez this afternoon. One up, one down here in the bottom of the fifth. Yeah, I think what's great about these renovations, we mentioned the Player Development Center, the courtyard, the pavilion, also the team room, and the Borland family classroom. So obviously academics on the forefront of the mind of this athletic program, Rick McCarty and the baseball program, to think things through like that on the academic side of this experience too.
Yeah, and here at ACU, we're a little different. Like, we're not a public school, right? So we don't secure state funds or student fees. Every project that we do, you know, from an athletic facility has to be 100% fundraised through generous folks. And that's why we have so many great stories, so many donors. I love the spaces, the names, and the stories that come with that, right? So the Bart Borland is an amazing supporter, you know, the Borland family team room. Every time I go in there, not only will it be Rick talking about it, but it will remind me of who made that possible. And that's what I loved about today. A lot of those folks that contributed and saw those spaces got to take their picture with their families in front of that for them to see that what they did was a reality.
Here's a deep drive by Payne, but playable for Stewart in right. A few steps back now, a few steps in. And a fly out to right, 2 up, 2 down here in the fifth. Of course, we saw the Scott family here recognized in the first pitch, the Bullock family as well here for a ceremonial first pitch. We've seen so many who have contributed to this, not only this project for ACU, but for ACU as a whole for many, many years here at the ballpark today. Good to see their smiling faces and what they've done.
Yeah, ACU's a special place, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a place that changes lives, and you have families that have been a part of this community for so long. And you mentioned Sherry Scott, obviously her son, her father Al being a former coach here, and then Robert Bullock threw out the first pitch, threw a strike. Man, it looked like you know, he still had a little bit of arm in him, and so to see those families here celebrating that, knowing that how much this has been a part of their lives, that's the fun part about a day like this, is all those families coming back together and telling old stories about, you know, how that things were when they were here and how much better it is now. There we go.
Arias will find a hole on the left side. Past a diving Soto Jr., a 2-out single. And Nick has a 2-for-3 day. Runner on first for Sam Hardcastle. Now, Zach, I'm going to change directions on you here while I've got you. The other ACU athletics going on. I know spring football is going on, coming off a conference championship. You've got your spring sports. What else is going on around the campus of ACU these days?
Yeah, you're right. We're walking into spring championship season. Our women's golf team heads out to Phoenix. I'm actually going out there to cheer them on earlier this week or later next week. And then our men's golf championship will be out in Phoenix as well. Our men's and women's tennis programs are competing for the WAC championship next week, and then Miles Smith in track and field. So we're kind of coming up on the early part of spring championship season. So it's fun to watch our student athletes and coaches do what they love, which is to play the game in the way they can. I think we're primed for another championship or two here in the fall. As an athletic director, that's the fun part of this job, right? Is getting a chance to see these young people really enjoy this experience, but also compete in a way that honors Christ, but also, you know, gets those W's on the scoreboard as well.
Hardcastle a chop. Crapel, chest tie, will throw across the diamond. and make the out. Zach Laster, thanks for the time. Thanks for all you do here at ACU. We really appreciate all you do.
Appreciate it, Andy. Go Wildcats.
7-2 Utah Tech will move to the 6th here on ESPN+. And another thanks again to the Vice President of Athletics, Zach Lassiter, for joining us there in the 5th inning. A celebration today, Bullock Brothers Ballpark. The official grand opening. Utah Tech is putting a kink in this thing. They got a 7-2 lead, so we move to the 6th. And as we move to the 6th, we hand it off to Jaden West. Hey, Jaden.
Thanks, Andy. Chandler Benson back on the mound for the Wildcats. Gets that one in there for a strike. Face off. It's Ketchke, McDaniel, and Stewart. 2, 3, and 4 batters here today. This one ripped down the line, but caught by Sam Hardcastle for out 1.
A line shot right at Hardcastle. Had it played well. Nice easy catch, first
Number
down.
14, Kyle McDaniel.
Now Kyle McDaniel, the hottest hitter in this Trailblazer lineup. 3 for 4 yesterday, 2 for 2 today. Then got intentionally walked with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Brett Lehman got things started for the Wildcats. He went 3 2/3, gave up 7 hits. Not his best day. Really needed a bounce back start from both the Utah Valley series and the Sacramento State series, and just couldn't provide quite as quality of innings as Coach McCarty would have liked.
Yeah, 7 runs all earned in that 3 2/3 innings of work. Did have 5 strikeouts, but that 4th inning just did him in after retiring the first 2.
Now Benson will give up a 1-out single here to McDaniel. He stays hot. Now 3 for 3 on the day. Back-to-back 3-hit games for the left-handed hitting second baseman.
His 14th multiple hit game of the year. He's done it twice this weekend, and 6 hits on the weekend. 6 for 7 with a walk. Sniffing a WAC player of the week, maybe coming out of Abilene. This continues.
Finnegan Stewart in the box. The freshman cleanup hitters. 2 for 3 on the day. He's had 3 RBIs. RBI single, 2 RBI double back in the 4th, and then a strikeout in the 3rd.
Benson's been solid since he came in the 4th. He gave up a double there in the 5th, but really a ball that was misplayed that went as a double. Now Stewart has another hit.
Yeah, back-to-back singles. This one sneaks through the 6 hole on the left side of the infield. And put 2 runners on with just 1 out here in the 6th.
Now for Stewart, it's his 5th multiple hit game of the year. The 2nd time he's had 3 hits in a game.
The third baseman, Ryan Crapo.
And this part of the lineup has been good today. McDaniel with 3 hits in the 3 hole. Stewart now with 3 hits in the 4 hole. And here's Crapel in the 5 hole already with 2 hits, 4 RBIs. This 3-4-5 meat of the lineup has been really strong today.
Crapel had the big 2-run home run back in the 3rd. Grounds this one to short. Zampane will field it. Throw it to Arias at 2nd, over to 1st, and the 6-4-3 double play to get out of the inning. It's still a 7-2 lead for the Trailblazers of Utah Tech, but the Wildcats trying to change that as they come back up to hit here in the bottom of the 6th.
So make sure you swing by and grab yours before it's gone.
Back in Abilene, Texas, a 7-2 lead for Utah Tech. The Wildcats coming up to bat here in the bottom of the 6th. As we get things going, we'll have a new hitter in the lineup, Reese Borough, the left-handed sophomore. Played in left field in the top half of the inning, taking the place of Louis Broussard. Now he takes his place here in the lineup, and he's getting things going for the Wildcats in the 6th.
Jaden, we've seen Borough in the lineup a lot. He's made 18 starts on the year. Trying to get the bat going, just 9 hits and 51 at bats, and there's hit number 10 on the year.
Now Borough with the leadoff single as he rounds first. He'll retreat back to the bag, but a pulled shot down the right field line. Falls in for the leadoff hit.
Off speed from Martinez. Roped it in the right field. Wildcats again have the leadoff man on here. It's the 4th time in 6 innings they've had the leadoff man on.
Leaving guys on base has been an issue for the Wildcats. 6 so far today. They left the bases loaded back in the 3rd. They picked up 1 run.
Jaden Martinez just at 88 pitches, so still in his comfort zone. Again, he's going to be 6 to 7 innings. He's going to be low triple-digit number of pitches, so he's probably got 10 to 20 pitches to work with here, especially if he continues to deal the way he's done today. I think this is an inning. I know ACU's down 5, but be patient at the plate. Work a pitch count. See if you can generate multiple runners on the base pass and get some scoring opportunities.
Nielsen fell behind in the count, 0-2. Ball 1, fouls that one off, so 1-2 the count. He's had 2 very competitive at bats today. Had a hard line drive out into left field, a well hit ball just right at Elliott Jones, and walked to get things going in the 4th. 2-2 the count. Boro leads off first. Martinez the pitch, and another ball missing low and away.
This feels like a big pitch. Try to get the first 2 on in the inning.
1 on, nobody out, the full count pitch. This one flied out deep to left field. If it stays fair, it's gone. Out of here, a 2-run shot. Jack Nielsen puts the Wildcats back on the board. His first home run of the season. It's a 2-run shot deep out into left field. 400 feet on that one, 102 off the bat. And the Wildcats cut into the deficit here in the 6th.
Well, Jaden, I thought big pitch just to try to get 2 runners on the base pass. Jack Nielsen thought otherwise. Take this one out of the yard, out to Judge Ely Street. A no-doubter off the bat. Borjo the pinch hit to get on. Nielsen his first home run. We got a 7-4 ball game in the 6th.
Some energy as Nielsen rounds those bases. Some energy now in the Wildcat dugout. Nobody on base anymore, but 2 runs on the board for the Wildcats. Now a 7-4 lead for Utah Tech as Ben Greer steps in the box. He's 1 for 2 on the day, and an RBI single in the 2nd. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the 4th. Takes strike 1 at the bottom of the zone. A pitch that hadn't been called a whole lot. The low strike has been laid off of by both teams, and most of the time it's a ball. That one just able to sneak the bottom edge of the zone. Greer flies this one out down the left field line, but the wind pushes it foul.
Jaden, that home run, Nielsen's first of the year, as you mentioned, RBIs 14 and 15. It's the first RBIs of the weekend from somebody not named Payne or Greer. ACU's first 5 runs of the weekend had been manufactured by those 2 guys, but Nielsen now the 2-run home run. Boy, the whole dynamic felt like it changed on that pitch. That swing by Jack.
Yeah, Nielsen, just his 12th start of the season. I've seen him play some in game 2. Sometimes he goes behind the plate to give Maddox Misi a rest. Rest of the legs at catcher. Today playing first base instead of Grant Watkins. Watkins getting the start at DH. And Nielsen coming into this ball game and making an immediate impact. He's had 3 really good at-bats, and that one the biggest of them all. But Ben Greer here, he goes down swinging on strikes for out number 1, excuse me.
A good pitch, Martinez to get his 5th strikeout. And a big strikeout feels like for Utah Tech as Martinez trying to get through this 6th inning of work. Statistics will show you, Jaden, that this Utah Tech pitching staff really drops off once you get past the starting pitchers of Cade Montgomery and Ryan Martinez. So still with outs to work with, but Martinez is the guy that ACU needs to get off the mound. He gets an easy ground ball here.
Good play by Kyle McDaniel, moving to his right. Fielding it, throwing it over to first for out number 2. Back up to the top of the lineup with Braden Regala. Regala 0 for 7 on the weekend, a rare lull in the hitting stats for the leadoff batter. The freshman switch hitter has been good for ACU at the top of the lineup. Has tried to lay down a couple of bunts. They've rolled foul, so then he swings away and has yet to reach base, but he grounds this one through the infield on the right side for his first single of the weekend, and 2-out hit, puts a runner on first.
Well, it's very similar to a ball he hit back in the 3rd inning, just to the right of the second base bag. It was Petey Soto Jr. who robbed him of a singles. Soto made the diving stop, the spin, and got Braden out at first. That ball right there, very similar to that, but able to sneak into center field to keep the inning alive.
Bring up Grant Watkins. Watkins just 0 for 3 on the day, 1 for 7 on the week, and his back-to-back strikeouts in each of his last 2 at-bats. He takes strike 1 there at the bottom of the zone. Regala, definitely a threat to steal a base. He fakes like he's going on this one. He'll retreat back to the bag, and then it's fouled off. Now in an 0-2 count, we might see the legs get going from the center fielder.
That infield plays a few steps to the pull side. Soto Jr. right up the middle.
Strong secondary lead from Regala. He doesn't go on this one. Now the count at 1-2.
Jaden, there is activity in that Trailblazer bullpen down the third base line. This might be it for Martinez.
Regala goes. Watkins hits this one deep out into right center field at the track. It falls in and bounces over the wall for the ground rule double. Great hit by Watkins, but if you're the Wildcats, a little disappointed as Regala would have scored very easily. He was stealing on the pitch, and he'll have to go back and stay at third.
Well, you're seeing the West Texas Wind play with that one. Is off the bat. I thought that was leaving the yard, 380 in that power alley. The Wind knocked it down, no chance for Royal to get to it. And then, yeah, benefiting the Trailblazers is the ground rule double, the second one we've seen today. And this one, as you mentioned, would have scored Regala easily from first with 2 outs moving on the hit. But ground rule double will keep it second and third, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, Coach Peyton-Hauer will bring in the new arm out of the bullpen as Ryan Martinez exits this ball game. We'll tell you more about the new pitcher when we come back. The Wildcats put an effort to come back in this game. They trail 7-4. Back on the campus of Abilene Christian University. A breezy day here in West Texas, but a sunny one. Great weather for baseball. We're in the middle of the bottom of the 6th inning. We have a new pitcher for the Trailblazers, Tyler Ray, the junior from Las Vegas, Nevada. He'll come in relief in this one.
Yeah, Tyler is the first arm out of the bullpen for middle relief, and he'll get the ball here with the tying run coming to the plate. Already 2 runs in the inning. His 11th appearance on the year. He does have a 2-1 record. 3.82 is the ERA. 27 strikeouts to 15 walks. Opponent batting average of .203. The first time that the starter Ryan Martinez has not gone a full 6 innings, and now his 8th start of the year. So the Wildcat Bats get to Martinez here in this 6th inning, and they get to the bullpen a little bit earlier than other teams have been able to do versus Martinez. And big situational at bat here, 2 in scoring position with 2 out.
We saw the Wildcats get into the Trailblazer bullpen early last night. They do it again here today as Ryan Martinez exits with 108 final pitch count. He leaves 2 runners on, both in scoring position. It's been a 2-run home run from Jack Nielsen for the 2 runs scored in this inning. Then back-to-back outs. Now since then a single from Regala and a ground rule double from Grant Watkins. They're the 2 runners on the base paths. As Zant Payne, he's 2 for 3 on the day, steps in the box. Payne with a ground rule double and an RBI single. He's gone down both foul lines. And a fly out to right in his last at bat.
Ray is similar to ACU's Chandler Benson, who's in relief. He was the 4th starter in 4-game weekend series, but now that we've gone to 3, he becomes the long middle reliever here in the middle of the games.
Pitch misses up and away. Now, Payne ahead to count 3-0.
I don't think you swing until you see a strike. First 3 pitches out of the zone.
Infield slightly to the pull side. Outfield as well. Pitch misses underneath, and Zant Payne will have a 2-out, 4-pitch walk to load the bases.
Might have been a careful situation there with first base open for Zant Payne, who's had a hot bat this weekend. But the lefty-lefty matchup, the pitch around it, it's 4-pitch walk. Now the bases are loaded. Nick Arias a chance to do a job.
Arias 2 for 3 on the day. Back-to-back singles in his last 2 at-bats. 1 to left field, 1 to right field. Struck out in the first. Yesterday went 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Hasn't looked super comfortable in the box until these last couple at-bats. He's been hitting the fastball early in the count. He takes strike 1 right down the middle. May have been a take all the way after 4 straight balls to start the day for Tyler Ray.
ACU's already left him loaded once today, back in the 3rd. Stranded 6 total. Good stop, Johnson.
Important backstop back there. A different catcher from what we saw yesterday with Andrew Pyle behind the plate. Ty Johnson getting the start here this afternoon. Arias batting .500 with the bases loaded, .327 with runners in scoring position. That pitch just misses high, and now a 3-1 count to Nick Arias.
Certainly a hitter's count. Nowhere to put Nick.
A 3-1 pitch. This one swung on, flied out down the right field line, going out of play. It lands out on top of the new covered stands, and count will be full.
Well, runners will get on the move here, 3-2 and 2 outs. Anything in the gap, you got a chance to have a tie ball game.
And you see Ty Johnson telling his infield that right there. Runners will be moving with a 3-2 count, 2 outs, so play is at first on a ground ball in the infield. Unless it's just easy to step on your own base. Nick Arias at the plate. The payoff pitch, swung at, missed. Strike 3. The Wildcats able to scratch across 2 runs here in the bottom of the 6th, but they leave the bases loaded. They trail by 3. We're going to the top of the 7th. Chandler Benson back on the mound for the Wildcats. The lefty in for his 3rd inning of work. Here at the top of the 7th. Utah Tech with a 3-run lead, 7-4. ACU able to scratch a couple of runs from the Jack Nielsen 2-run deep shot. That left the bases loaded. Nick Arias strikeout for the final out of the inning.
How about the job by Tyler Ray? Came in and did a job. Tying run at the plate when he comes in and able to get the strikeout of Arias and get out of the inning. ACU's left him loaded twice in the first 6 innings now, as they've now stranded 9 over the course of the first 6 innings. Big time job by Tyler Ray to come in and do a job, close the door.
Yeah, this Utah Tech bullpen would be a little bit of a question mark coming into this series. The starters would be good, give a lot of innings. ACU's been able to get to the bullpen in the 6th and 7th innings and just haven't been able to capitalize off of it as they couldn't in the bottom of the 6th. Utah Tech back up to bat with Ty Johnson at the plate, Aaron Perez on deck, and Petey Soto in the hole. Johnson grounds to the right side. Arias fields it cleanly and gets it over to Nielsen at first for the first out of the inning.
Jaden, we can close the line on Ryan Martinez, the Trailblazers starter now. 5 2/3 innings of work. Give up 4 runs, all of those earned on 11 hits. Did have 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. 108 total pitches, 68 of those were strikes. But again, I think the big number that jumps off with the help of reliever Tyler Ray. Now 9 Wildcats stranded first 6 innings. He's the pitcher of record with a 3-run lead.
There's a high chopper to Arias. Able to make the play to retire Aaron Perez. Quick 2 outs here for Chandler Benson on back-to-back ground balls.
Benson's been good in relief today.
Benson, a guy that can give you some longevity out of the bullpen. He's good for 3 or 4 innings in relief. Mentioned was a midweek starter back in the non-conference portion. Saw him start that 4th game, oftentimes in 4-game series or even a Tuesday night start as well.
Actually had a 4-inning relief appearance last week versus Sacramento State, but the majority of his appearances this year have been right around the 3 innings of work. He's gone 3 full now today in relief.
Now quickly, and the count 0-2 here to P.D. Soto. Soto Jr. 0 for 3 on the day. 1 for 4 yesterday. This pitch misses up and away.
First look at the out-of-town scoreboard. UT Arlington about to put away Tarleton 9-5 in the 9th.
And Benson, and the strikeout on the day. And a quick 3-up, 3-down for the Wildcats in the top of the 7th. Stretch time here in Abilene, Texas. Wildcats back up to bat. When we come back. Back in Abilene, Texas. Make our way to the newly renovated Bullock Brothers Ballpark. Celebration today. Tyler Ray back on the mound. Came in relief for Ryan Martinez in the bottom of the 6th. Walked the first batter of Zant Payne and then got a big strikeout of Nick Arias with the bases loaded. The tying run on first base and Ray able to come in and do his job. It'll be Hardcastle, Borjo, and Nielsen due up for the Wildcats. Hardcastle will lead things off. He's 1 for 2 on the day, also with a walk.
I think Chandler Benson, top of the 7th, that's about as best you could do. Get the Wildcat bats who put some damage on that Utah Tech pitching staff in the 6th. Get that offense right back up to the plate here, bottom of the 7th. Great top of the 7th, Chandler Benson. Jaden, we were looking at the out-of-town scoreboard. UT Arlington now a 10-5 lead on Tarleton State. That's in the top of the 9th. So UTA about to win each of the first 2 games in that series if they hold on.
Hardcastle flies this one up well high. It's dropped. Hardcastle will have first base. We knew the winds would be a factor on high pop flies. This one was skied higher than any of the ones we've seen today. Floating out there, you see him fair territory, foul territory, back into fair territory for Ryan Craypole, and that'll go as an E5. That is off the glove. Hardcastle reaches on by way of the air.
Well, Utah Tech, who's been so clean defensively all weekend long, they've made 48 errors on the year, but they've been clean all weekend, just their first error. And an easy out to start the bottom of the 7th, falls in fair territory. E5 on the play, and that's a ball that pushed back into fair territory. We've seen the wind push them into foul territory. That pushed back into fair ground.
Reese Borjo will try to keep things going for the Wildcats offense. Borjo, the guy that got things started in the 6th, that came in spot for Louis Broussard. A single to lead things off down the right field line, then scored on Jack Nielsen's 2-run home run. Borjo flies this one out in foul territory down the left field line, hits the light pole out of play. Foul ball will move the count to 1-2.
Jay, in that UTA Tarleton game, the only game that's also in play right now in the WAC. Seattle U, Sacramento State, a night game tonight in Sacramento. Same can be said for Utah Valley, Grand Canyon. And Utah Valley won the opener last night 11-1 in Phoenix. So they go for the series win today. Both those teams are 8-2 in conference. It's going to be hard for ACU to catch either one of those, even if, let's say, best case scenario, ACU were to win out, finish 17-7. I still don't think you catch both of those teams, since both are already in the rearview mirror.
Whoa, flies this one up. Might be trouble. Shallow left field, but shortstop P.D. Soto Jr. takes over and makes the catch for out 1. Here's a look at what's been done so far through 6.5 innings. Zant Payne, Jack Nielsen, a couple of big days for the Wildcats. 2 hitters that have not been present here in these last few weeks. Nielsen not getting a lot of playing time, Zant Payne injured, and now they have a combined 3 RBI. It's been the freshman, Finnegan Stewart, 3 hits, 3 RBI, and a run scored that's gotten the job done for Utah Tech and given them this 3-run lead.
The middle of the lineup has been so tough for Utah Tech today. McDaniel, Stewart, Krapel, 8 hits from 3, 4, and 5 today. Only 10 on the board for Utah Tech, but those 3, they've linked them together and it's put runs on the scoreboard.
Jack Nielsen will face a 1-1 count. Nielsen, the ball he hit out in the left field was just absolutely crushed. The wind may have taken a little further, but even with no wind, that ball leaves the yard on pretty much any given day. 400 feet down that left field line. At the time, felt like a big momentum giver in way of the ACU. Got a few more guys on base after that, and just left him stranded. The story of conference for the Wildcats.
Nielsen seeing the curveball of Ray out of the hand really well. Seeing that break out of the zone. It's the same pitch that Arias struck out on in the 6th inning, but Nielsen seeing it out of the hand really well. He's got a 3-1 count.
3-1 pitch, and it's in there grooved for strike 2. Hardcastle's over at first base after the error on the pop fly to the third baseman off the glove of Ryan Krapel. Poor Ove. His pop fly was caught by the shortstop, P.D. Soto Jr. A couple of throwovers to Hardcastle, just trying to keep him close. Hardcastle just 1 stolen base attempt on the year. It was successful. 3-2 the count, the payoff pitch. Outside corner, just off the edge of the plate. And Nielsen draws his 2nd walk of the day.
Well, it's a close pitch. It's one that Ray was hoping that Nielsen would try to protect with 2 strikes, but certainly outside. Fastball at 88 that stays outside. That's another great at bat for Nielsen, another great plate appearance. Fought off some pitches, gets to a full count, sees ball 4 out of the zone, 2 on with 1 out.
I'll bring up a 1-for-3 Ben Greer. 1-for-3 yesterday with the big 2-run home run out over the right field wall. First pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. Greer today has yet to touch second base. His RBI single in the 2nd, then he was caught stealing, trying to take second base. That ended that inning. Here's a hit hard out into right field. The wind will hold it up and be an easy catch for Finnegan Stewart. Runners will have to go back to 2nd and 1st. And now 2 outs in the inning.
Greer saw it well, hit it well, but on a line right to Stewart, he barely had to move out of his position to make that catch. No chance for the runners to advance either. So 2 outs in the inning, put it on the shoulders of Maddox Meesey to try to drive in some runs.
104 off the bat there of Greer. He's hit some balls hard this weekend. Starting to look a little better at the plate than he has through conference so far. Maddox Meesey also one of those guys struggling in conference, but has been better this weekend. 1-for-3 yesterday, 1-for-3 today. Double and a run scored.
Oh, good pitch.
Swings at that one right through it. Evens things up at 1-1.
Ray's gone to the bender more than the fastball.
The 1-1 pitch off the end of the bat. Grounded down the first base line, but it'll roll foul. Macy will come back to the box and face a 1-2 count.
Unfortunate that stayed in foul territory. Hit that right off the end of the bat. Rick McCarty's guy will get back here with a 1-2 count. We'll have to protect. Again, Rays like that curveball out of the zone here with 2 strikes. It's been his pitch of choice to try to get the strikeout.
1-2 the count. 2 on, 2 outs, and that one misses outside. Evens things up at 2. Macy has had that clutch gene in the past. We've seen him come through with some big hits over the course of his Wildcat career. The junior able to get a piece of that one and stay alive.
That same curveball outside portion of the plate, tailing off to the opposite batter's box. Maddox just gets a piece to stay alive.
Tyler Ray's sliders looked good. We'll have a quick time called.
Yeah, Daniel Ferrudo, hitting coach, coming out to talk to Maddox Macy. Unique time to come out and have a meeting here with 2-2 count. And don't see Coach Ferrudo come out of the dugout too often, but situational baseball here in a 7-4 game, trying to claw back in this thing.
They never know, maybe picked up on a way that Ray is tipping his pitches perhaps, or showing that he's going to throw that slider. Keep Maddox grounded here as he faces a 2-2 count. Doesn't want him to chase after something he can't hit. Ray will be looking for that swing and miss. The 2-2 fastball up in the zone. And popped up behind the plate, out of play. Wildcats with 11 hits on the day have actually out-hit the Trailblazers. They've got 10, but 3 more runs than ACU. A big 4-run fourth.
All with 2 outs.
2-2 once again. This one misses up and away.
Chance for the runners to get going here, 3-2 with 2 outs. Anything in the gap should potentially score 2. Nielsen at first, not with great speed, but chance for the runners to get going, at least stay out of a force out at the lead bases.
Runners go, the payoff pitch, grounded left side. Fielded by Soto Jr. and a strong strike over to his first baseman and Aaron Perez for out number 3. The Wildcats, they leave 2 more on base. No hits, no runs scored. They trail 3. We're through 7 here in Abilene, Texas.
Welcome back to Bullock Brothers Ballpark here in Abilene. The Wildcats down 4-7 after 7 innings. The construction of Bullock Brothers Ballpark began in late May of 2024, and despite that, was in playable condition by the start of the season in February. The remarkable turnaround for this stadium renovation is largely due to construction crews working 6 or 7 days a week and late into the night to get it done. It's a great facility that the team, students, and fans are all excited to have moving forward. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Roman. We're through 7 here in Abilene, Texas. Utah Tech with a 7-4 lead. Will take us through the final 2 innings. And any more after that, back over to Andy Penny.
Any more after that? You're expected to be here a while, huh?
Hey,
you never know.
You said back in like the first couple innings, you felt like this was a ball game that was maybe a 9-7 type of score. And the Wildcats, they scored a couple runs, 3 tied up 7-7. Then you know it could be right.
Hey, I'm good with staying at the ballpark a few extra innings. I love it on a beautiful day like today.
It's too good of a day not to stay and just watch more baseball.
So we get to the top of the 8th, and it's the top of the lineup: Royal, Ketchke, and McDaniel. Chandler Benson still in relief. He came in the 4th. He has been solid. He's put up zeros in the 5th, 6th, and the 7th. This ball will tail foul down the third baseline for Royal. 7 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for Utah Tech. 4, 11, and 3 for the Wildcats. Major difference, the 4-run top of the 4th for Utah Tech. They did it all with 2 outs. 5 consecutive reached, 4 of those scored. Ethan Royal a single, Hunter Ketchke hit by a pitch, Kyle McDaniel intentionally walked. With the bases loaded, Finnegan Stewart a 2-run double, followed by Ryan Crapel a 2-run single. 4 runs in that top of the 4th. It chased the starter, Brett Landman, out of the game. Chandler Benson came in with 2 outs in that 4th inning, and 1 pitch got the out in the top of the 4th. He's put up zeros in the 5th, 6th, and the 7th. He's got an 0-2 count here to Royal.
Yeah, Benson's just looked really good here out of the bullpen. Locating his pitches really well, mixing it up, getting the hitters off balance. He's given up 3 hits, but no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. The double really just the only pitch that he missed as far as location goes.
There's a good pitch and a swing and a miss. Royal down on strikes. Second time this afternoon he's down with a K. It's a 1 for 4 afternoon. 1 up, 1 down here in the 8th. Check that. That was the 9 spot, Elliott Jones, to lead it off. My apologies. Elliott Jones down on strikes. Now to the top of the lineup, and Ethan Royal. First pitch to Royal is a strike. So Royal now to backtrack. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Single and a run scored. He's been hit by a pitch and scored. Swing here, and he's down 0-2. He has faced Benson once today, ground out to shortstop. And now time called, and Royal making his way back to the dugout. A little gamesmanship here. We saw this in the bottom of the 7th with ACU. A little conversation in the middle of the at-bat. We'll see the same here with Utah Tech.
Yeah, both times in 2 strike counts. Macy taking time with a 2-2 count now. Royal here with an 0-2 count. Again, Benson's just been so efficient. There are a couple of guys getting up and ready and warm in the ACU bullpen, but Benson, if he could get through the 8th, that'd be a huge amount of work put in relief for the Wildcats to set themselves up as far as pitching goes into a possible rubber match tomorrow.
0-2 outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wildcats with 2 more stranded there in the 7th have now stranded 11 on the base pass today through the first 7 innings. There's a grounder opposite way. Nilsson on the backhanded pick. Step on the bag, 3 unassisted. 2 up, 2 down here in the 8th. Today follows the script we saw versus Grand Canyon, a weekend that ACU stranded 28 runners in that series. Today's script seems to be following that with 11 stranded. Wildcats have left them loaded twice. Compliments to the pitching staff today for Utah Tech, Ryan Martinez and Tyler Ray, who have stranded those 11. Here's one fouled at the plate, and that catches Meese.
Yeah, it's tough whenever you have the same amount of hits as you guys left on base. That either means you're maybe not hitting enough or leaving too many guys stranded, and it's been the latter for the Wildcats this weekend and really over the course of conference play. Just can't quite get the big hit to open things up. Something we saw ACU do very well last year. Led to that 2nd seed in the conference tournament out in Mesa last season in 2024. This year, they were picked to get 2nd in preseason. Just find themselves at the bottom of the standings right now.
And not as much room to work with. Of course, last year a 30-game conference schedule with UTRGV and Stephen F. Austin in the conference, but with going down from 11 teams to 9, it went from a 30-game conference schedule down to 24. So the room for error, the margin for error is certainly not as big as it was a year ago. And for the Wildcats, who are 5 games back of the top 2 seeds right now, Utah Valley and Grand Canyon, who also have the advantage, I guess, winning 2 out of 3 of those series. The top 2 spots will be difficult to get into those top 2. I think for ACU, realistically, you're still trying to get to either the 3rd or the 4th place spot in the conference tournament. Of course, seeds 5 through 8 have to play in an extra game, a single elimination game in Mesa on the first day of the tournament. If you win on that first day and you become one of the final 6 teams, then it becomes a double elimination tournament. But even then, the top seeds have byes. As this one, a soft liner out to Payne. He's got it. It's another clean inning for Chandler Benson. He's retired 7 in a row. We move to the bottom of the 8th. Utah Tech still the 7-4 lead in Abilene. Bottom of the 8th in Abilene. Utah Tech the 7-4 lead. Chandler Benson now 4 full innings of relief. As a matter of fact, 4 1/3. He has kept Utah Tech at 7. It's up to the offense here against Tyler Ray, who's been just as good in relief. Bottom of the 8th, we'll start with the top of the lineup. Braden Regala, Grant Watkins, and Zan Payne. Again, Ray came in relief in the 6th for Martinez, and he's been good. Regala, his first hit of the weekend, his last at bat in the 6th. Quickly ahead in the count here, 2 balls and no strikes. Fastball first strike, it's 2-1. Wildcats with 11 hits, Utah Tech with 10. Yesterday we saw Utah Tech with more hits than ACU, 9-5, but Wildcats won. Currently that same narrative holds true. The team with lesser hits has the lead. 3-1 count to Regala, trying to get the leadoff man on. 3-1, high and tight for ball 4. Good speed on the base pass to lead off the 8th.
And for the Wildcats, it's a good way to get things started. You got the top of your lineup up, and your speed guy gets the leadoff walk. I'll bring up Grant Watkins. And I go back to that 6th inning, an inning where the ACU had some offense brewing and a chance to gain some momentum off the Nielsen 2-run home run. And back-to-back outs, Regala gets his first hit of the weekend, and then was going to score on the big Watkins double out in the right center field, but it hopped over the wall for a ground rule double and made Regala just go first to third. Kind of a big swing not to pick up at least that 1 extra run and maybe more to follow.
Stranded with the bases loaded. They're back in the 6th. Regala on here in the 8th. It's the 6th time in 8 innings that ACU's had the leadoff man on in the inning. Watkins today, the double, again, that ground rule double in the 6th, his lone hit today. He's 1 for 3. A line out to left and a strikeout to go with that double. There's one on the inside. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. There's a little bit of activity in the Trailblazer bullpen. Starting to get loose, another right-hander. A right-handed heavy pitching staff for the Trailblazers. 2-1, big cut, good pitch. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
A nice little back foot breaking ball there. Very effective pitch for the heavy pull hitter in Grant Watkins.
Throw over, Regala back in, bang, bang play. As Perez applies the tag, but Regala back in. It's gone final in Stephenville. UTA the win over Tarleton State, 13-6. So UT Arlington has won each of the first 2 in that series. They'll play game 3 tomorrow. Of course, the Wildcats will be in Arlington next weekend. Runner on the move. Watkins swings through a fastball. The throw down to second, not in time. So Watkins down on strikes. Ray gets the strikeout. Regala gets the stolen base, his team leading 19th in that category. First out of the inning, courtesy of the strikeout. And Watkins has gone down on strikes now 3 times today. 1 for 5.
He had a really nice swing in his at bat in the 6th inning, but besides that, just has not looked quite as comfortable at the plate this weekend. Been behind on fastballs, which usually is the pitch he likes to obliterate.
There's Zan Payne. Ray starts him off with a fastball for a strike. Game 3 of this series is tomorrow afternoon, a 12 o'clock Central first pitch. Of course, the Trailblazers trying to get it to even, set up a rubber match tomorrow. There's travel day, so an early first pitch here at the ballpark. Wildcats a midweek game at home versus Incarnate Word on Tuesday, then A Monday the 21st game versus Texas Tech as Payne hits this one a long way down the right field line. It's off the wall as Stewart plays it, overruns it. Regala coming around third, he will score. It's 7-5 Utah Tech here, bottom of the 8th. I thought off the bat it was gone. The wind knocks it down, but because of that, Stewart misplays it in right two. Everybody's safe. 7-5 ball game.
Yeah, this was a towering shot from Zant Payne, and the wind just really held it in the ballpark. And a tough play for Finnegan Stewart out in right field. Here's another look at it. You see him track it back to the wall. Looked like he might have had a chance to play it, and then overran it, had to lean back behind him kind of to the right. Couldn't tell if it was off the wall or off his glove. I think maybe off the edge of his glove. Regardless, a big RBI double. Wildcats with 1 run now instead of 2 on that hit.
That has been awarded a double in the official scorebook. So an RBI to go with it as Regala scores. Now a 7-5 ball game. That brings the tying run to the plate. Nick Arias. Opposite field single. It's through into right field. Payne coming around third. The throw coming to the plate. Head first slide. It's 7-6. Arias will take second. It's an RBI single. It's a 1-run ball game in Abilene.
Here come the Wildcats bats. Back in action here now in the 8th. We knew that once you get into the Utah Tech bullpen, there's some opportunities to generate some offense, and that they've been able to do. Tyler Ray came in strong in the 6th. Had some traffic on the base paths in the 7th due to an error and a walk. Able to work out of it, but now giving up a pair of runs in the 8th. And a runner in scoring position with just 1 out. For the Wildcats, a chance to continue to pile on.
And a decision has been made. Chris Fatenauer will go to his bullpen one more time. The tying run is in scoring position, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. We'll tell you about the new Trailblazer pitcher when he gets in. It's a 1-run ball game at 7-6. 1-run ball game, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Utah Tech has gone to another righty out of the bullpen, Jaden, as Aaron Morris will take over, the sophomore right-hander, with the tying run now in scoring position, 1 out.
Yeah, Morris getting his 16th appearance on the year. One of the go-to guys for Coach Fatenauer out of this Trailblazer bullpen. The record at 0-2. The ERA not great. 13 strikeouts to 9 walks. He's made multiple appearances in each of the last 2 series, California Baptist and then Utah Valley. Utah Valley through 1 inning gave up 6 hits and 6 runs, then just got 1 out, giving up 1 hit and 1 run in that outing as well. Pitched in the midweek against BYU. Just had to come in and face 1 batter, 3 pitches, 1 out. Able to mop up what he was there to do. Trying to do the same here in this one in game 2 against ACU.
It's a high pressure situation. Now the tying run in scoring position. Here's a ground ball to Soto at short. Thought about going to third, but he'll go ahead and get Hardcastle at first, 6-3. Arias will move up second to third. The tying run now just 90 feet away. Soto thought about third, but still a 1-run lead, bottom of the 8th. Go ahead and get the sure out. Gets 2 outs in the inning. And Reese Boro, who came in the 6th in a pinch hitting role, took over in left field. Now will come to the plate with 2 outs. Morris works out of the stretch. Fastball at 91 on the gun, swung on and missed. Reese today again 1 for 2, singled in the 6th, scored in front of the Jack Nielsen 2-run home run. He popped up left side of the infield last time up. Foul this one off, and he's behind 0-2. 2 runs in the inning already for the Wildcats. A Braden Regala leadoff walk, an RBI double by Zant Payne that scored Regala, an RBI single by Nick Arias that scored Payne, and now Arias at third. The 0-2. Gets away from the catcher, it's loose. Arias gonna try to score, and he will! Tie ball game in Abilene. Johnson couldn't find it. It was less than 10 feet away from him. He just could not find it. And Arias able to touch home plate. We're tied at 7.
What a way to score a tying run. I was watching Arias as Johnson attempted to block that ball. He was kind of hesitant whether or not to go home. You'll see here on the far left of your screen when he comes into picture. Well, he's not going to come into picture until the dive, but he was kind of just inching forward as the ball continued to just lay on the ground, and Johnson kind of spiraled around looking for it. Finally, he committed, deciding to go for it, and a good decision there by Nick Arias. Smart base running to tie things up.
Boro a grounder to shortstop. Soto Jr. a strong throw across. 6-3. The side is retired. Not before the damage is done. Wildcats with 3 runs in the inning. 8 innings complete, nothing decided. We're tied at 7 going to the 9th. 7-7 ball game, top of the 9th. ACU able to get to that bullpen, able to generate some runs, and here we are, 7-7 ball game, Jaden, as we go to inning number 9.
Yeah, coming down the stretch, it's looking to be a good one. We expected a close game. It looked to be in favor of Utah Tech for so long. They got out to a hot start, put up 4 runs in the 4th. The Wildcats have just chipped away here in the 6th and had a chance in the 7th, couldn't get it done, but then a big 3-run 8th off some good hitting from Zampane, Nick Arias, and good base running as well to be able to score on that pass ball that wasn't far away from Ty Johnson at all, but Arias able to dive in to tie things up, and we got a brand new ball game. Chandler Benson back on the mound. He's looked good so far. Coach McCarty and the Wildcats need him another quick inning out of him here in the top of the 9th.
7 runs, 13 hits, 3 errors by ACU. 7 runs, 10 hits, 1 error by Utah Tech. This is the heart of the lineup. McDaniel, Stewart, Crapel. 8 hits combined from these 3 this afternoon. Benson has faced McDaniel here once, a single for McDaniel. 3 for 3 with a walk, 6 for 7 on the weekend.
Benson just missing low and away. Benson has faced no more than 4 batters in an inning. He's had 2 innings with 4 batters, 2 innings with just 3 up, 3 down.
He's retired 7 in a row going back to the 6th. Double play ball to get out of the 6th, and since 3 up, 3 down in the 7th and the 8th. That's a 2-2 count here to McDaniel. Check swing, fouled off the plate. We'll do 2-2 again. Utah Tech with 1 in the 1st, ACU with 1 in the 2nd. 2 in the 3rd for the Trailblazers, 1 in the 3rd for ACU. It was 3-2 after 3. So there's another one fouled off. 4 in the 4th for Utah Tech. They led 7-2 top of the 4th. It stayed that way till the bottom of the 6th. The Jack Nielsen 2-run home run in the 6th made it 7-4. And then 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th have us tied here at 7. Another 2-2. This one hit right back up the middle. Look out, Benson. It's a 4-hit day for Kyle McDaniel. And now 7 for 8 on the weekend. The leadoff man on here, top of the 9th.
Yeah, really impressive by the left-handed hitter. Just has stayed true to his swing and just driving hard ground balls and line drives up the middle through the holes on both left and right side. Really just been spraying the field. I was kind of hating on him earlier for having some infield singles, but really good hitter at the plate and has had a good weekend. Strong performance so far.
There's Finnegan Stewart swinging away. Benson misses outside. Utah Tech likes the small ball. They like the hit and run. With a hot bat of Stewart and Crapel here, it'll be interesting to see if the wheels get turning for McDaniel. Trying to get the lead run in scoring position. Fastball from Benson in for a strike. There is activity in the ACU bullpen as Benson is up over 50 pitches. Any sort of trouble, you go to situational bullpen. So working hitter by hitter here, top of the 9th. It's the 1-1 inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Infield to double play depth already turned 1 today. They've turned 2 on the weekend. Benson a throw over to first. It's a 2-1. Hit opposite way, but foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looking ahead to the ACU 9th, it's Nielsen, Greer, and Meese scheduled to bat. That's 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup. First things first, this top of the 9th. McDaniel at first, a leadoff single. Benson the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Benson another strikeout.
Yeah, really great pitch. The changeup just drops down below the zone. He pulls the string on it. Gets the swing and miss for a strikeout. Now a lefty on lefty matchup between him and Ryan Crapel, and a chance to get a ground ball and get out of this inning.
Crapel, the 2-run home run back in that 4-run 4th. RBI single to follow a 2-run single in the 4th. The home run came in the 3rd. So 2 for 4 day, home run, 4 RBI for the 3rd baseman. Benson delivers the 0-1. That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Of course, Crapel listed as a pitcher on this roster, and he's pitched a little bit this year, but he's typically defensively at 3rd base. He'll take a strike on the inside. The transfer from Arizona State, he started with the Sun Devils. Been a good addition here from Chris Fatenhauer.
Crapel's got a strong arm. He's recorded 4 saves, which is good for 3rd in the conference. And
check swing and appeal. He did not go. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Might be a guy we see if Utah Tech gets the lead. Crapel might be a guy that comes in to try to notch down another save. He's the only Trailblazer with a save, those 4 that he has. Good stop, Meese. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Shadow starting to creep out onto the playing surface. Not quite to home plate yet, but we saw it last night with a 6 o'clock first pitch. A few innings of pitcher in the sun, batter in the shade. We're close to that today. So here's a payoff pitch, fastball in the inside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts. 2 outs in the inning. Strikeout number 5 on the afternoon.
yeah, Chandler Benson, he's just looked so good. Locating his fastball really nice. This right at the bottom of the zone. He gets the strikeout, looking for the backwards K in the books. And Benson trying to keep his team in this ballgame.
McDaniel still at first, 2 outs in the inning. Here's Ty Johnson. Johnson 0 for 4. He did reach on an error in the 3rd. He'll take a strike. We anticipate tomorrow Cade McGar to get the start for ACU. Dakota West will get the start for Utah Tech. 12 o'clock Central start in Game 3. Benson's done a great job to keep the ACU bullpen ready to go. So this one hit the opposite way. Greer moving to his left will make the catch. The side is retired. It's a quiet top of the 9th for Utah Tech. Wildcats coming to bat in the bottom of the 9th. We're tied at 7 in Abilene. Bottom of the 9th, Jack Nielsen to lead it off. A 7-7 ball game. Wildcats trying to walk it off here this afternoon. 7 runs, 13 hits, 3 errors, 7, 11, and 1 for Utah Tech. It's Aaron Morris to start on the mound here in the 9th. He came in relief in the 8th. And will stay on the mound here in the 9th. Nielsen, Greer, Meese scheduled to bat here in the 9th. Nielsen fouls it off. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Of course, Jack had the loud 2-run home run in the 6th, as ACU has scored 5 unanswered. After trailing 7-2 in the 4th, Wildcats have scored 5 unanswered. Nielsen, the 2-run homer in the 6th, 3 more runs in the 8th. He'll chop this one right down the line. Krapel plays it, fires across, 5-3, 1 out here to start this bottom of the 9th inning. Krapel was playing right on the line, no doubles defense. Fielded it cleanly through across.
Yeah, another hard hit ground ball. 102 off the bat, just chopped straight into the turf. Nielsen been really impressed with him today. Some good at bats, some hard hit balls. All three balls he's put in play have been hit hard. A hard line drive to left field, hard ground ball there. Of course, the home run.
It's Ben Greer, first pitch, hits one left field, fairly deep. Jones at the warning track, makes a leap, it's gone! Benjamin Greer, a walk-off, home run, bottom of the 9th. Wildcats have won each of the first 2 ball games on the weekend. The celebration at Bullock Brothers Ballpark is complete. Wildcats, an 8-7 win in Abilene.
Man, what a fun time. Benjamin Greer taking it the opposite field. Hard hit ball. A man that has struggled, a preseason all-conference pick, and this weekend he's really stepped up. An RBI single today, and then of course the biggest RBI of them all, the home run. 8-7, Wildcats win.
For Greer, who came in on the weekend with just 2 home runs, he's hit his 2nd home run of the weekend. Home run number 4 on the year, and RBI number 24. The Wildcats 6 unanswered down the stretch to get the win. Your final again, 8-7 Wildcats. 8 runs, 14 hits, 3 errors for ACU, 7 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error thus far for Utah Tech. The Wildcats improved to 19-14. They're now 4-7 in conference play. Utah Tech falls to 15-19 and 1-7 in conference play. Roman Raffelli is down on the side, waiting to interview Benjamin Greer, talk about that walk-off home run and the game here in the 9th. Roman is down on the first base line with Benjamin Greer. Roman, it's all yours.
Thanks, Andy. Ben, you hit your 2nd home run of this series to clinch Game 2 and win your first conference series this season. How big was that moment?
Yeah, it was a pretty big moment. Didn't have the best game, but had some teammates back me up saying that just to focus on the last at-bat, and yeah, it just happened. So, yeah.
You guys were down 5 runs early in this one, and you battled back and eventually got the win in the bottom of the 9th. What does that say about this team's resilience and mentality moving forward?
Yeah, we're just a team that we always like to fight, and if we have to face some adversity, we just take it in. We love it, and yeah, we just love to fight. We're a good team. We play together, and yeah, we love it.
And what's the mindset going into the Game 3 tomorrow with the chance to sweep?
Same mindset as always. Just refresh this game, make it an 0-0 tomorrow in our mindset, and just try and win the series tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Ben. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Roman. The Wildcats and Ben Greer walk it off today, 8-7, our final score on Celebration Day, the formal grand opening of Bullock Brothers Ballpark in Crutcher Scott Field. Hey, this has been a presentation of the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN+. All games are airing live. They are archived on the ESPN app. Celebration Day again at Bullock Brothers Ballpark, Crutcher Scott Field. Your final score, ACU 8 and Utah Tech 7. For the entire ACU TV crew led by Hutton Harris and my good friends Roman Raffelli and Jaden West, I'm Andy Penny. Take care. Good night from Abilene.